Hello, Mid-Michigan, and welcome to Regional Championship Softball here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. When this day started, it didn't necessarily seem like we were going to be able to get any action in, but here we are still ready for that 4 o'clock first pitch. Big-time shout-out to Getford, Peratt, the whole crew that was out here making sure the field could get ready for the action today, as we are set to bring you Sacred Heart Academy versus the Merrill Vandals in a regional semifinal action. This is the Woods Household pregame show on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Of course, coming to you live from the Barbary Law Studios, built by Konwinski Construction. Also, much love going out to Gates Drilling and Service, Bill's Custom Fab, the Bird All-American Grill, Clark Modular Homes, Weefrich Financial, Woods Household Appliance, as we get set for some regional semifinal baseball. The first time since 2016 that the Irish have had the fortune of being here today, and they take on a team who was in the same spot last year and probably felt like they let one slip away, as was Beale City besting Merrill in the regional semifinal game here at Sacred Heart Academy last year, 4-3, winning it in a walk-off fashion in the bottom of the seventh inning. The Vandals come in at 19-14. The Aggies come in at 30-6. Sacred Heart has already bested Merrill twice this year, 6-0 and 5-0. But what that tells me, Merrill's not a team that's going to kick the ball around. They're going to be good in the field. They're going to have decent hitting. They're going to have decent pitching. Yet he come in at 19-14. That's a pretty solid baseball record when you consider you can only throw your number one pitcher each game. And on the mound for each team, it'll be Brady Davis starting things off for Sacred Heart Academy. It'll be Braden Buckley starting things off for Merrill. So we've got Braden versus Brady on the mound today with these two squads. We're going to take a break here on the Woods Household pregame show. Hear from our friends at ENS Graphics and Clark Modular Homes. We'll be back with more Sacred Heart Academy baseball right after this regional semifinal versus Merrill coming right up. For over 4 decades, ENS Graphics has delivered confidence, trust, and peace of mind by providing their customers with expert service and using state-of-the-art technology. We all know in sports, what's on the inside counts the most. But when it comes to your business, school, organization, what's on the outside does matter. If your business needs anything printed, ENS Graphics can do it. If you want your club, team, organization to look good, ENS can help with that. They take your vision and make it their mission. ENS Graphics, a proud supporter of the Mid-Michigan community and their local athletes. Visit ENS Graphics at their location down in Ithaca or visit their website at esgraphics.com. ENS Graphics, printing all things physical.
Hey guys, it's Tanya from Clark Modular Homes. I'm here to talk to you today about who we are and what we do. Clark's opened in 1983 and has been centrally located right here in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. We have one of the largest display centers with around 12 to 15 homes on display all year round. We have a fully experienced staff. We also have an in-house project manager who can pull our permits and coordinate our job from start to finish. We are proud to have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We are our own contractor, making it a one-stop shop for you for your home building needs. As the owner would say, we can do it all.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Woods Household pregame show. And yeah, a little bit different as you just see the scoreboard now that we are in playoff action. But we got a pretty decent shot of it despite the angle that we've got. I am actually in the softball press box today, and it does look like the sun might come out. It might be decent, but when I saw the weather this morning, I thought to myself, I better be prepared for a long possible evening outside, because this is one of those games. It looks like that weather band is going to stay south of us, but if it doesn't, we could definitely have a rain delay possibly, and want to make sure I am nice and covered up today as Sacred Heart Academy gets set to take on the Merrill Vandals. Irish were just out in the field moments ago. Meeting of the mind at the plate right now. I'm going to send it out to one more commercial break. When we come back, we'll get set up for first pitch. We'll go through the starting lineups from each team. We'll talk about some of these insane batting orders for Sacred Heart Academy, along with all the records that Mr. Grady Perrette has broke. Be back with more Woods Also pregame show right after this and getting ready for first pitch. Sacred Heart Academy, Merrill, here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Elevate your banking experience. Isabella Bank is your local banking partner. We understand the importance of personalized service, providing solutions that fit your unique needs. When you bank with us, together we can drive positive change and build stronger communities. Experience banking redefined. Make the switch today and experience banking that goes beyond. Isabella Bank. Local. Growing. Staying. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Bryant Family Farms would like to wish everyone good luck on the field and on the court. Bryant Family Farms offers maple syrup, mums, pumpkins, beef, goats, and fresh cut flowers. With you pick, bouquet arrangements, and subscription flowers. Bryant Family Farms, 3.5 miles south of the casino on South Leeton Road. Visit BryantFF.com or call 989-304-1201. All Seasons Fireworks is a big fan of all the athletes, coaches, officials, and volunteers who make high school sports happen. To make your next event bigger and brighter, stop by All Seasons Fireworks on M20 in Mount Pleasant. Graduations, birthdays, weddings, or a big win become more memorable underneath a night sky lit up by the magic of fireworks. All Seasons Fireworks on M20 in Mount Pleasant.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. All right, we are ready. Braden Buckley is on the mound throwing up his last few warm-up pitches. We will run through this lineup of Sacred Heart Academy. Leading things off, the senior star for the squad. I guess there's a bunch of senior stars, but Grady Perrette, the shortstop. After districts, he now has a .522 batting average. Yes, a .522 batting average, a .604 on-base percentage. He has 10 doubles, 10 triples, 4 home runs, 38 RBI, 62 runs scored on the year. And as I was looking at things, one of the most impressive things about him, besides all of those numbers, and 113 at-bats this year, he only has 8 strikeouts. That's pretty darn impressive. Hitting number 2 for Sacred Heart Academy is going to be Noah Zion. He's got a .259 batting average, .447 on-base percentage. You don't want to let him get on base as he has stolen a bunch of bags this year. He's got 36 runs scored, 20 RBI on the year. Hitting in the number 3 spot will be first baseman Ryan Wiggins on the year. He hits .351, a .448 on-base percentage. He has got 14 extra base hits, 34 RBI, and 36 runs scored. And you're going to hear that on-base percentage number a whole lot today because as a team, Sacred Heart Academy has a .447 on-base percentage. Just unbelievable. If any one of those 3 guys get on, Pratt, Zion, Wiggins, Bogue will be due up after that. Hitting in the 5 spot is Tegan Duffy. Number 6, Wyatt Brown. And number 7, Nate Seiler. 8 spot is Brady Davis. And then Luke Hacker, pretty much like a second leadoff hitter, hitting in the number 9 spot. Perrette getting ready to step up to the plate, batting from the left side for the first at-bat of the ball game here. Sacred Heart Academy, Merrill, the winner of this game, plays in the regional finals Saturday, noon 30 at CMU's Tennyson Stadium. An insane number here for Grady Perrette. He has 59 hits on the year and 62 runs scored. And obviously he's got some walks, 24 of them, but to have more runs scored than hits is just an absolute bonkers number there. First pitch is going to miss to Mr. Perrette. Getting batting from the left side, swinging the bat over the back left shoulder. He shows bunt. He pulls it back. That's going to miss again. 2-0 the count to Perrette. And the last thing you can do with the speedy leadoff guy is let him on because then you give Noah Zion a chance to drop down a bunt for a sacrifice or possibly a bunt single. Third pitch is going to be in there for a strike, 2-1. Again, on the year, Perrette, a ridiculous .522 batting average and a .604 on-base percentage. That one's also going to miss 3-1 the count. Perrette digs back in, waves the bat out in front. Merrill out there, the white pants, the black jerseys, and the orange piping. That one's going to miss. It's going to be a leadoff walk for Grady Perrette. And as I said, you cannot put him on. And Pardon me for sliding things over away from the camera there for a moment. And so ball 4 sends Peratt to first base without even having to swing the bat. Now here comes Noah Zion. Again, he's going to be a big-time threat to drop down a bunt here as well. Zion batting from the right side. A superstar point guard for Sacred Heart Academy. First pitch is going to be over for a strike. Ryan Wiggins on deck. Him and Peratt, along with Joe McDonald, who's been hurt this year, all going to be playing baseball at the next level. Here comes the next pitch. This one's going to be sent foul down the first baseline. It'll get out of play. It was a great jump for Grady Peratt. He would have been at second base easily. 0-2 now the count to Noah Zion. And Wiggins on deck. More love going out to our great sponsors. J&J Auto, Mount Pleasant Heating and AC, Konowinski Construction, Weber Brothers Sawmill, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply, E&S Graphics, along with G&S Mechanical and our friends at Mount Pleasant Public Schools. There's a steal. It gets away from second base, which will allow Peratt to take third. And that is what's so deadly about Grady Peratt. You still have Zion at the plate, and all of a sudden Peratt is at third base, and now a long fly ball can score Peratt from third if you're Noah Zion. And again, if there wasn't 2 strikes, he'd definitely still have the bunt in play as well. 1-2 the count to Zion. That one's going to miss. 2-2. Say Zion playing center field. I had him out in right field and making maybe the throw of the game this past Saturday as it was Tegan Duffy, and that's going to be a punch-out, strike 3 looking. I don't think Zion's going to be happy about that call, but as you always hear me say, the best view in the house is brought to you by Woods Household. It is those umpires, one directly behind home plate, one directly behind the pitcher as of right now here in regional semifinal action. Wiggins now stepping up to the plate, 34 RBI on the year. 36 runs scored for the Irish. He's going to send this one foul down the first baseline. And with a speedy guy like Grady Peratt, all he really needed to do is put the ball in play here and be able to score him from third. And if you are Merrill, third base, Brendan Becker's not really playing in on the grass. Same over at first base, and so they're essentially conceding the run if he gets put into play with the speed of Peratt. 0-1 the count to Wiggins after he fouled that one off. Buckley winds and deals with the next one. It's going to be fouled off. I think that went directly off of the umpire's mask there, and so he's going to be shaken up a little bit there. Count will now be 0-2 to Ryan Wiggins. If you're Buckley, if you could get another punch-out, that would be big momentum-wise starting things off for Sacred Heart Academy. And just as the umpire would do is if a kid got hit in the grill, Scott Peratt coming down, checking with the umpire, saying, you good, man? After kind of getting whacked in the face there. That umpire is a lot tougher than I am. Buckley, ready for the 0-2. Peratt leads away from third base. This one will be fouled off out of play. Jason Bogue on deck. He's playing second base for Sacred Heart Academy. Could see him play first. Could see him on the mound. Could see him play third. And the all-sports superstar, Mr. Jason Bogue for Sacred Heart Academy, heading to Elma next year to play some college football. This one's going to be roped out to left field, as I got the backwards view here. The point is it's an RBI single for Ryan Wiggins, and the Irish are on the board here early as Peratt gets on via walk, steals second and third on, a bad caught stealing attempt there. It's not a thing I say very often. But the Irish are on the board. Wiggins at first base, putting on that stealing glove. Stepping up to the plate now is Jason Bogue. But big for the Irish to get on board here. It's 1-0 Sacred Heart Academy here in the top of the first inning. That one's going to miss. It's regional semifinal baseball here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Merrill Sacred Heart Academy. These teams have already played twice this year. Sacred Heart Academy bested them both times, 6-0 and 5-0. Got a great performance on the mound from Brady Davis. I believe it was in that first game. We will see him on the bump again today for Sacred Heart Academy. The one thing, as I said in the pregame, you see that 6-0, 5-0 score. You know Merrill's not going to kick the ball around a lot. They're going to field it cleanly out there, only giving up 6 runs and 5 runs to this very, very powerful Sacred Heart Academy lineup. Bogue's going to foul that one off. Count now 1-1 to Jason Bogue. Tegan Duffy on deck. What a day he had Saturday I mentioned the throw out. I'm just going to keep calling it the Ichiro throw from right field to third base, nabbing the speedy Kyler Smith. This one's going to be roped out towards right or left center field. Center fielder's going to have to back up. He actually falls down in the grass now. Rounding third, coming in to score is Wiggins. They fake the throw home. It's a stand-up RBI double for Jason Bogue. And you know it's a big hit when you get Mike Verlager jumping up out of the seat here in the softball press box to see where did that one go, because that one had a chance to get out of here deep to center field for Bogue. It is 2-0 at Sacred Heart Academy with the lead. Still just one out here in the top of the first inning. Stepping up to the plate is Tegan Duffy. I mentioned the throw he had a few times already, but he was just as impressive at the plate. I believe he had 4 RBI or 3 RBI in that district championship game in which Sacred Heart Academy bested Beale City. Duffy digs in Bogue with a pretty sizable lead there at second base, but he's not being held on. And when you're out there at second base, it's either the shortstop or the second baseman that's going to come in, and usually the shortstop tries to sneak behind that runner, try and get there. They'll just slap their glove trying to make them think they are, but Bogue, very smart base runner. He knows exactly where that shortstop is as he dances away and dances back. Count now 1-1. Duffy, a couple practice swings. Squares back up, batting from the right side of the box. Buckley ready with the 1-1. That's going to be in there for a strike on the low outside corner. Great location that time from Braden Buckley. And you go back to the games earlier this year, 6-0, 5-0. So whoever was throwing for Merrill, they threw a really good game. Again, only giving up 5-6 runs to this Sacred Heart Academy lineup is very, very impressive. Swing and a miss that time from Duffy. He's going to go down on strikes. A wonderful pitch there from Buckley. So he's gotten both of his outs via the punch out. But the problem is 2 runs have came across on a walk, a single, and a double. Wyatt Brown now stepping up to the plate. Brown on the year has been absolutely lightning behind the plate, not letting anything by him. A .250 hitter, but a very, very impressive .455 on base percentage. He's got 18 RBI. He only has 7 runs scored, as usually when he gets on, they bring in a pinch runner for him. Checking the runner at second base is Buckley. Diving back in time is Bogue. 2-0, Sacred Heart Academy with the lead here in the top of the first inning. At the plate, number 6 hitter Wyatt Brown. He's going to take the first pitch. It's going to be high, 1-0. Really nice job behind the plate by Colin Buckley to keep that one in front of him. Otherwise, Bo could have been moving up to third base. That one's also going to miss. Count now 2-0 to Wyatt Brown. Digs back in, kind of an aggressive wave of the bat over the back right shoulder. That one's also just going to miss. 3-0. If you're Buckley, you probably really want that call. Say one of the old, remember that when I'm up to bat the next time. 3-0 now the count to Wyatt Brown. On deck for the Irish is Nate Seiler. That's going to be in there for a strike, 3-1. The other joke I always like to make, if you're Wyatt Brown, the umpire, you've probably had some conversations with them this year throughout the year. And so I always feel like you get a little bit more generous of a strike zone if you're a catcher out there. Or, you know, a little bit less of a strike zone. As I say that, it's strike 2 call. Taken all the way was Brown. I don't blame him there with Seiler on deck. Seiler with an unbelievable performance in the district championship game, shutting out Beale City, striking out 11. Helping the Irish win their first district baseball district championship since 2016. Count has run full to Wyatt Brown. There's 2 outs. Runner at second base is Jason Bogue. It's 2-0. Irish with the lead here. Top of the first inning. Regional semifinal baseball. Buckley winds, deals. It's going to miss high. Very patient at bat there from Wyatt Brown as he takes first base. The second walk surrendered by Braden Buckley here in the first inning. Runners now at the corner. It's going to be a pinch runner coming in for Bogue. Looks like the superstar Jackson Verlager coming in to run for him. We headed to Trine University, continue his football career next year, along with Luke Hacker, and that's got to be pretty cool for those two to be able to go experience that together, be able to play down there. Runners at first and second now for the Irish with 2 outs and Nate Seiler at the plate. Big moment here in this ball game already. As I said, it was 6-0, 5-0 earlier this year. If you're Merrill, you feel like you can't get down by more than 2 runs before you've even had a chance at the plate. Seiler's going to take strike 1. Buckley steps back onto the mound, knows how big of a moment this is. The righty from Merrill winds and deals. He's going to miss low with that one, 1-1. Brady Davis on deck, then Luke Hacker, and it's back to the top of the order. Again, just no holes in this lineup for Sacred Heart Academy. So Diggs back in, batting from the right side. So talking with Scott Peratt earlier this week, saying he just has it. You go back to football season, he had the game-winning kick against Grand Rapids Sacred Heart, 24-21, and kicking field goals in high school sports is not an easy thing to do, and he made that one look easy. Also had a big touchdown catch in that game as well. That'll miss. But on the year, Mr. Seiler's a .319 hitter with a .443 on-base percentage. He has got 6 extra base hits, 2 home runs, 18 RBI, and 19 runs scored. That one's also going to miss. Count now 3-1 to Seiler. Buckley checks the runners, not too worried about him. This one's going to be popped high out towards right field. Not going to be an easy play, but able to come in and make the catch out there, and right is Hayden Meacham. Well, half first inning is done, but Sacred Heart Academy does get 2 runs across the board. They also do strand 2 as well. We'll see, I guess you'll hear Brady Davis on the mound when we come back right after this. The Irish lead at 2-0 heading to the bottom of the first inning versus Merrill here in regional semifinal action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Get your yard ready for spring and summer with Martinez Lawn Care. Martinez Lawn Care is scheduling spring cleanups now, along with bush and tree trimming, landscaping needs, and scheduled mowing services. Find Martinez Lawn Care on Facebook or call them at 989-317-5536. Weefridge Financial knows it can be incredibly overwhelming to navigate the world of financial planning. With trusted guidance and easy-to-understand advice, you can feel comfortable in your financial future with Weefridge Financial. Weefridge Financial assists people in all stages of life with a specialization in retirement and investment planning. Experience the power of working with an advisor dedicated to your success. Visit WeefridgeFinancial.com. Visit them in downtown Mount Pleasant. Call or text 989-953-7888. Weefridge Financial, member SIPC. Konwinski Construction offers a full range of construction services on small and large projects. Konwinski Construction is a leader in the community and are proud to support those student athletes who will be leading our community tomorrow. Konwinski Construction on Gover Parkway, Mount Pleasant.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Chris Bachman, Mike Verlager with the best perch in the house. I always say the best seat in the house, brought to you by Woods Household Appliance. I think we've got it here today as we're actually over at the softball field looking down at the baseball field. And other than the very corner out here in left field, it's absolutely wonderful view. And the scoreboard, not the best shot that we're used to, but still a very clear view of it. And the sun's starting to shine through the clouds and the haze here a little bit at the ball fields at Sacred Heart Academy. But nice to be protected here in the press box at the softball field. Shout out to Konwinski Construction and everybody who was a part of making that happen here at the Sacred Heart Academy softball fields. And shout out, call out to everybody that's trying to make it happen over at the baseball fields as well. I know myself, Andy Tyson, been talking about it a little bit. Braden Buckley was on the bump. He will lead things off for Merrill. Behind him, it's Bryce Meacham and then Ethan Matson. And that due up brought to you by our friends Bryce Updegraff and Joe Wentworth, Braden Realty, Robbins Dressman and Associates, Pure Plumbing, Hanging by a Thread, Isabella Bank, along with our friends at Mount Pleasant Automotive and Brad Malley Well Drilling and Construction. First one was over for Davis. Second one, waiting to see the call here. That one will miss. 1-1 now the count to Braden Buckley. And it's Meacham and Matson due up next. Working very quickly is Davis, and there is that excellent curveball. When the lefty's got that curveball working, he is really tough to deal with. Throws in the mid to high 80s, and they'll break that curveball off on you. If you're a lefty, it's going to drop right across your face, and if you're a lefty, it's going to look like it's going to break right in on you. That one is over for strike three on that curveball for Mr. Davis. Again, I believe looking at the game changer review, he struck out 13 while shutting out Merrill earlier this year. Meacham now stepping up to the plate, but if you are Sacred Heart Academy, you'd like to keep everybody, below 75 today so they don't need that 3 days rest. They would have everybody available for those 2 games on Saturday. First one's going to be a call strike to Meacham as well. Second one also over for a strike. So Brady Davis coming out and just absolutely firing in the zone right now for Sacred Heart Academy. He's also working with a very quick pace on the hill as well. He winds and deals. That one a miss. 1-2 now the count. Breaking ball stayed outside. Davis has the baseball back from Wyatt Brown again, working very quickly on the hill. He's going to get strike 3 there against Meacham, and so both of them were a 1-2 count as he mows down the batters. Woo, what a start for Brady Davis. Strikeout for the junior. Also an excellent basketball player for Coach Sherlock and the Irish. Again, he is working quickly. Matson's at the plate already. Here comes the first pitch. Showing bunt, pulling him back was Matson. It'll be ball 1. Matson plays the shortstop position. Becker up next plays third base. Anytime you see shortstop and third base in the 3-4 spots, kind of like seeing the pitcher in the leadoff spot, they're excellent ball players. For example, sometimes you see that shortstop, the number 9 guy, or maybe the designated player, just a really good fielder. Sometimes got designated player, it's going to be just a really good hitter. But when you see that shortstop or third baseman hitting that 3-4 hole, all the way around they're going to be an excellent baseball player. Swinging through that one was Matson, counting now 2-1 to the number 3 hitter for Merrill. There's 2 outs here, bottom of the first inning. Brady Davis has already struck out 2. He's going to step off the mound here for a moment to regather himself. Behind the plate for the Irish, it's Wyatt Brown at first base, Ryan Wiggins at second, Jason Bogue at short, Grady Perrette at third, Ryan Wiggins. Swing and a miss. Now 2-2. Turning up the gas on that one was Brady Davis. Out in center field is Noah Zion. In left field is Luke Hacker. And out in right field is Tegan Duffy. Count now 2-2. A chance for Davis to strike out the side here. And after getting 2 runs in the top of the first, getting a striking out the side to give a lot of momentum going forward for the Irish. It's going to be fouled back to the backstop. We'll do the 2-2 one more time. 2-2 with 2 outs. 2-0 our score here. Bottom of the first inning. Whole lot of 2s up there. And that last number that you see on the scoreboard is the pitch count. Really cool to have that now that we're here in playoff action. Swing and a miss. Davis does strike out the side for the Irish. Due up for that Sacred Heart Academy squad. Brought to you by our friends, the Fisher Companies, Kenneth Egger DDS, Bogwai Banga, and Bradley, along with Gross Farms and Brad Gross Electric. It's Brady Davis, Luke Hacker, then back to the top of the order with Grady Perrette, who already has a run scored. Back with a more Irish Regional Championship baseball right after this on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. When your team or business needs to look good, don't get left hanging. Call or stop by Hanging by a Thread in Wademan, the official embroiders for the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Hanging by a Thread, a proud supporter of local schools.
J&J Auto in Wademan is Mid-Michigan's elite automotive repair shop. J&J Auto offers complete collision repair and mechanical repair. Stop by on Wademan Road or call them today at 989-644-8908. J&J Auto, proud supporters of high school student athletes.
Value is not just a price. When you buy something for your home, it's an investment. Knowing that you're getting a great deal and service after the sale is priceless. At Woods Household, we only carry quality products for your home at competitive prices. Furniture that is attractive and durable. Comfortable mattresses that last for years. Flooring that stands up to wear and tear. These are all products that last by trusted name brands like FlexSteel, Serta, Whirlpool, and many more. So shop the Woods way.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. 2-0 the score here. Heading back out onto the bump is going to be Braden Buckley. He has already thrown 32 pitches in that first inning. Again, you can only throw 105, and so you keep that up. He'd already be coming out in the fourth inning. But Sacred Heart Academy, probably more importantly than even those two runs, was the way Brady Davis started out this game. He struck out the side for Merrill. I believe he had 12, 13 strikeouts when he faced him earlier this year. And so if you get that type of performance from Davis, 2 runs are going to be enough here today. He's now at the plate. First pitch is going to be a strike. The second one is going to miss. 1-1, the count to the lefty, Brady Davis. Again, already 3 strikeouts on the mound in the bottom of that first inning. And the 1, 2, 3 hitters for Merrill. Here comes the next pitch from Buckley. Swinging through that one is Davis. Count 1-2. Luke Hacker on deck. And again, these aren't your typical 8, 9 hitters that you're going to see for Sacred Heart Academy. On the year, Brady Davis is a .299 hitter with a .374 on base percentage. Hacker on the year, a .250 hitter with a .324 on base percentage. You go to a lot of other schools, in particular small schools, you get down to that 8, 9 spot. That's where you're going to see those guys that are hitting 170, 180, but are good in the field. That is not the case with this Irish team. They are strong 1 through 9. 2-2 now the count to Davis as that last one misses. Here comes the pitch. That'll miss outside. He's going to run it full. And you know, Braden Buckley did a decent job against Sacred Heart earlier this year. As I mentioned, the score is 6-0, 5-0. But if you're able to chase them quickly, if you're Sacred Heart Academy, this one's going to be a strike 3, but it's going to get away from the catcher. And so Davis is going to be safe down at first base. And that's one of those, the strikeout single. How in the world do you rule that one in the box score? We're just giving my man Brady Davis credit for a single on that one as he hustled it down the line. Problem there, you now have the leadoff run around for Sacred Heart Academy. If you're Merrill, already giving up 2 runs in that first inning, stepping to the plate is Luke Hacker, a big-time threat to drop down the sacrifice bunt. And with his speed, he can easily turn that sacrifice bunt into a bunt single. Playing in at third base for Merrill is going to be Brendan Becker. Hacker steps in, batting from the right side, shows that bunt, pulls it back and almost gets hit in the face. So just kind of dives out of the way there. 1-0 the count to Hacker. Again, I don't got the best angle here. Hacker also could have been doing a great acting job there to try and get the ball calls. He just kind of dove out of the way there. Hacker digs back in. As you heard me say, he's headed to Trine University next year to play some football. Button down the first baseline is a good one. They will get the throw over to first in time, but doing his job on the sacrifice bunt is Luke Hacker. He moves the speedy Brady Davis up to second base and a chance for an RBI for Grady Perrett. Again, when you look at Perrett's stats on the year, they don't seem real. .522 average, .604 on base percentage, 20 extra base hits, 4 home runs, 38 RBI, 63 runs now scored. Catcher coming out, make sure the pitcher is good to go. We've got a pinch runner coming in as well for Brady Davis. Pratt ready to go at the plate. Chance for him to drive in a run here. 2-0 our score. Top of the second inning. Sacred Heart Academy leads Merrill here in the regional semifinal. Winner of this game plays Saturday, noon 30 at Tennyson Stadium at Central Michigan University. That's going to get away from the catcher. That will allow speedy runner to take third base there. Nico Vasquez. Vasquez, little highlight reel that I had, and one of the sweetest catches we've seen all year in the football season. Now making it happen here on the base path. Nice job moving up 90 feet. Now if that run, if the ball gets away from that catcher again to be able to score a run, Grady Perrett not even having to put one in play. 1-1 the count. 1 out here, top of the second inning. Buckley steps off the bag, steps off the rubber for a moment towards the back of the mound. Now steps toward the middle of it. Again, he knows it's a big moment here. You don't want to give up that third run. If you get this second out here in Perrett, you could maybe get out of this inning clean. That's going to miss. 2-1 now the count to the senior shortstop, who walked and came around to score his first time up. Check the runner, winding and dealing. This one's going to be hit deep out towards center field. Not an easy play, but gathering underneath it to make the catch will be Eli Evans. Tagging from third and scoring will be Nico Vasquez, pinch running for Brady Davis, and a big-time sacrifice RBI right there from Grady Perratt. 3-0 now the score. A nice piece of hitting there for Perratt. Had an account 2-1, saw something he could drive, and again, he puts about another 20 feet on there. There's a little bit of wind here. That one could have been out of here, but he brings in that third run. Noah Zion now stepping to the plate. 2 out, nobody on for Sacred Heart Academy. Even with 2 outs here, Noah Zion definitely a threat to drop down a bunt. He doesn't show it there, but it misses way high, 1-0 the count. On deck, Ryan Wiggins, who already has an RBI single back in the first inning. Zion, at his first plate appearance, struck out. That one's also going to miss. 2-0 the count now to the speedy Noah Zion. Again, similar to Grady Perratt, he's a guy you just do not want to let on base. Makes things that much more difficult for the pitcher. That's going to miss inside. 3-0. Imagine we'll see Zion taking all the way here on this one. And with 2 outs, feels safe saying one of the next 2 pitches, if he does walk here, that will be over for a strike taken all the way with Zion. But if he gets on here, I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and steal, and then give Wiggins a chance with the runner in scoring position. Buckley winds and deals with the 3-1. That's going to be over for a strike. Again, I think taken all the way was Noah Zion. Again, I don't mind that here. They're really working that pitch count. This will be pitch number 50 upcoming here for Buckley. Swing and a miss there. It's going to get away from the catcher once again. Zion's got a chance to beat it out, and that's the second time this inning that we've seen. I don't know what else to put it in the box score other than to write a little K and a single in there, because that was technically the second strikeout of the inning for Buckley, his 4th of the game, but both runners have reached. And just bad luck there in a way if you're Buckley. So now you do have the speedy Zion at first. They check the runner. He's back easily. Wiggins, wearing number 14, digs in on the left side. And he said Olivet to play college baseball next year. Zion, ready to explode. He jumps out of the gate. Here comes the throw. It's going to get away from the shortstop. Zion now looking to go to third. He is there, standing up. Great piece of base running by Noah Zion. He steals second, then moves to third on the throw, getting past second base and shortstop. And it didn't look like there was good communication there between the catcher and the middle infield to try and get that throw out. Now Wiggins wanted to be very patient at the plate. We've seen a couple pass balls already this inning. Another one here could score that run from third. It's already 3-0. The Irish threatening with the runner at third base. 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. 2-0 the count to Wiggins. That's the problem if you're Buckley. You think, well, the number 3 hitter, now we got first base open with 2 outs. No, you got Bogue next, then you got Duffy and Brown after that. Just no let up in this lineup, and that one will miss. 3-1, now the count to Wiggins. Pardon me, that one's going to be over. 2-1, the count to Ryan Wiggins. Checks a swing on that one, it's going to be low. Now it's 3-1, just a little foretelling by this guy right here. Say Wiggins plays first base. He also can play third. I think he played second last year. You can also see him on the mound as well. Very versatile player for Sacred Heart Academy. One of the reasons why he's going to be playing college baseball next year. And he will take the walk there. So now runners at the corners for Sacred Heart Academy. Stepping up to the plate, Jason Bogue here, the big moment. It's already 3-0 Irish here in the second inning. Now Coach DeBow, or not Coach DeBow, one of the coaches heading out now. We'll see if Buckley stays in the game here. Find it hard to believe that they would run their best guy out of the game, because you know they're starting their number 1 guy in this game. They could just come out right now and just make sure everybody focuses and, hey, it's 3-0 right now. If we happen to give up one more run here, that's not the end of the world. We knew we were going to need to score some runs. Again, you go back to the bottom of the first inning, it was punch out, punch out, punch out for Brady Davis. You know you're going to give up some runs to this Irish team who comes in at 30-6 this year. Also a shout out to Earl Hartman, who's now over 900 career wins for Sacred Heart Academy. And another shout out to my main man, Jason Bubba McClain, who's celebrating his birthday today. I believe he said it was his 29th birthday or something like that. So happy birthday, Bubba. Hope he is celebrating. If you see him out there in the streets, make sure you give him a high five or a fist bump or something like that. Buckley remains in the game. Bogue steps in, batting from the right side. Already has an RBI double in this game. Another double here could really open things up for Sacred Heart Academy. Check the runner over at first base. Wiggins is back standing up. Ryan Wiggins' baseball instincts are just really good. I love watching him bat. If you've never seen him, you need to come watch this Irish team play. He's the most nonchalant batting stance that you've ever seen, and then he just ropes one after another out to right or left field, and he takes second base. There's no throw, as I think Sacred Heart was maybe looking for what I call the old Brad Ancliffe. When you got the runners on the corners, you tell that guy going from first and second base, you do no matter what. Wiggins now way off the bag, trying to get that throw back out to second base afterwards. Coach Pratt over at first base telling Wiggins pretty much just dare him to throw it at you here to try and send Zion in from second. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be right up the middle. Zion's in. Wiggins is on his horse. He's going to come around and score. What a start for Mr. Jason Bogue, the all-sports superstar for Sacred Heart Academy. Has an RBI double in the first inning and a 2 RBI single here in the second inning. And a great base running there from Ryan Wiggins. It's now 5-0. Sacred Heart Academy with the lead. 2 in the first. And now we have got 3 here in the second, and the threat's not over as Tegan Duffy steps up to the plate. Duffy struck out his first time up. 5-0 Irish with the lead. And a team that now is, joke in the pros and all that. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. You see them for the 3rd time in the playoffs. This is what you want to do, jump all over them and not allow them to have any confidence. The Irish are doing just that right now. The Vandals are going to have to battle back from a long way in this one, and they're going against some really, really fantastic pitching. First pitch to Tegan Duffy is going to miss. 1-0 the count to the right fielder. Buckley winds and deals. That one's going to be in there for a strike. 1-1. Bogue with the 2 outs. Not really looking like he's going to try and steal here. I think that's because of the gap power you got from Duffy and the speed of Bogue and 2 outs. If he sends one to the gap, Bogue will be able to score from first, but you don't want to take the bat out of the hands of Duffy here. Now they do look to check that runner. Bogue is back easily. 1-1 the count. There's 2 outs here. Bottom of the second inning. This will be pitch 61 coming up for Buckley here. Going is Bogue. After I say he's not going to go, he does go. Tell you how much smarter Coach Hartman and Coach Perrette are than this guy, and he's in easily. And that's a thing you start to see if you're Sacred Heart Academy. If everybody's able to steal that second base, you're going to be pretty good. In particular, if you're Seiler, Davis, Hacker, Bogue, and no offense to Wiggins, but you see Wiggins take second base, you think, oh, I'm going to be able to get it as well. Now a runner in scoring position for Duffy. Count 1-2. That's going to miss low, and Bogue's going to take third base as well. Great base running by Bogue. He was able to get a big lead, and he's able to take the bag, and here we are again. Another pass ball could score that run. It's 5-0 Irish. Swing and a miss for Duffy, but again it gets away from the catcher. Coming in to score is Bogue down to first base. It's going to get away. Duffy is safe. And so the 3rd time this inning, you've had the strikeout, but it gets away from the catcher, which allowed Davis to be safe, allowed Zion to be safe, and also allowed Duffy to be safe. But now they're going to say that he's out. I believe that might be some type of interference call. We'll keep our broadcast right here. And again, we're not going to get an explanation from the umpire here, but now out is Duffy. And what was really confusing there is the ball was thrown down to first base. It got away from the first baseman. He never really had it in his glove to make a tag. And again, I don't know if you can call interference as Duffy stayed in the base path there. But if you're Sacred Heart Academy, you don't have a ton to complain about as you lead at 5-0. My question right now, though, is if I'm Earl Hartman or Scott Perrette, does that run count? And I don't think it will because it was a force out technically down to first base. But again, it's kind of a weird, kind of a wonky play right there. But if you're the Irish, You get 2 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second. You're going to have a hard time, this being the hill that you die on, talking to the officials. Coming up, brought to you by our friends at Almost Up North, Stitches for Britches, Rick's Food Center, Doozy's Ice Cream Place, and Boomer's Lawn Care. It's Brendan Becker, Harrison Ayat, along with Colin Buckley coming up for the Merrill Vandals. Again, keep things right here. Thanks to more of our great sponsors like Boomer's Lawn Care, Mid-Michigan Industries, Sean Powers and the crew. Got the first Music in the Park coming up this Thursday. Yeah, that'd be tomorrow, downtown Mount Pleasant at Island Park. Go check that out if you want to have some free music and get in on some free fun. Also, much love to the Berry Funeral Home, Isabella Community Sportsplex, Mount Pleasant Automotive, along with our friends at Brad Melly Well Drilling and Construction. We do have a pitcher now warming up for the Merrill Vandals. Right here in front of us, it's going to be Bryce Meacham getting a few warm-up pitches in. Again, you know they're throwing their number 1 guy out there, but already 5 runs scored from Sacred Heart Academy and several walks surrendered as well. It's probably really what you're worried about. First pitch to Becker is going to be over for a strike as Davis just continues to plug the strike zone for Sacred Heart Academy. The junior lefty winds and deals with the next one. It's going to be fouled off down the third baseline. Davis has already struck out 2 for the Irish. Struck out the side for the Irish. Now he's got 2 strikes here on Becker. Steps off the back here. Wants to reset things. Now he's ready to go again. It's Brown behind the plate. Wiggins at first. Bogue at second. Perrette. That one's going to miss high. Reset it here for you again. Brown behind the plate. Wiggins at first. Bogue at second. Perrette at short, Seiler at third. Out in left, it's Hacker. Out in center, it's Zion. Out in right, it's Duffy. This one's going to be fouled off to backstop. As you heard me say, they went 1, 2, 3, all down on strikeouts, and technically 3 strikeouts in that last half inning for Merrill as well, but 2 of them were able to get on first base as the ball got away from the catcher, and that's such an important thing with Wyatt Brown behind the plate and how good he's been. And I will compare every good catcher that I see to Jake Gauthier last couple of years for the Beale City back-to-back state champion teams. It's something I'll think about for the rest of this game. You've already had 4 or 5 pass balls now for Merrill. They've all led to consequential plays. You haven't had anything get by Wyatt Brown yet. This one's going to be fouled off once again. Nice at-bat here for Becker. The count remains 1-2, but he's fouled off a couple as well. Davis, the lefty, holds the ball behind his back. Now in his glove as he squares up, gets ready to throw. Curveball is going to miss. It'll run a count to 2-2. Nice job by Becker holding off that one on 2 strikes. Harrison Ayat up next, then Colin Buckley after that. 5-0 the score here, Sacred Heart Academy, bottom of the second inning. This one's going to be sent up the middle. Davis gets his glove on to slow it down. It's going to make it a really tough play for Bogue. He's not going to be a throw in time. And it's going to be a single there for Harrison Ayat, and that's a big deal there if you are Merrill. Again, Davis had struck out the side in the first inning. You come out here in the second. It looks like it might be another strikeout again, but Becker battles off a couple. Then he gets the single. Leadoff runner on for Merrill with Harrison Ayat stepping up to the plate. The umpire doing a great job making sure Brady Davis is good to go. And that hit his glove, way outstretched glove, just couldn't quite bring it in. It made it kind of a tough hop for Bogue at second base. Single there, seeing eye single, as they say, for Becker. Here comes the throw. It's going to miss low. 1-0 the count now to Harrison Ayat. Davis with that killer pickoff move, runner at first base, not leading off all that much. That one's going to be fouled off the backstop. 1-1 now the count. Colin Buckley on deck. Eli Evans up after that. Due up in the top of the third for Sacred Heart. It'll be Wyatt Brown and Nate Seiler. Davis winds and deals. In there for a strike. A nice bender had Harrison Ayat fooled. Say, if you know baseball, softball real well, you see that batter kind of bend the wrong way, you know you really had him fooled. That next one's over for a strike. Punch out number 4 for Brady Davis. Man, he has got it going on the mound here today for Sacred Heart Academy. Colin Buckley, the next Merrill Vandal, is going to step up and try and deal with him at the plate. And again, I'll go back to that last inning. Braden Buckley struck out 3 batters for Sacred Heart, but just 2 times it got away from the catcher, allowed that batter to head down to first base and be safe. First pitch to Colin Buckley is going to be over for a strike. 5-0. Irish with the lead here in the bottom of the second inning. Davis winds and deals. That one's going to bounce up there. This will be the first time it gets away from Wyatt Brown, but I think even Brady Davis would give a tip of the cap and saying, yeah, that one was on me. It might have actually bounced off of the plate, and why that one shot up so far. That will allow Brandon Becker to move up to second base. That's now a runner in scoring position for Merrill here. 1 out. Bottom of the second inning. Davis winds and deals a big swing through it that time from Colin Buckley. He was looking to send that one out to Lincoln Road for a home run. Davis again holds. Checks that runner now at second. Winds and deals. He's going to get another punch out. Swinging through it was Buckley. Runner stays at second. That is now 5 punch outs through 1 2/3. Every out has come via strikeout for Mr. Brady Davis so far. And if you're Nate Seiler and Grady Pratt, you're starting to check the watch a little bit, saying, man, get some action over here. First pitch to Eli Evans. Fastball down in the zone, over for a strike. Davis checks the runner. Winds, deals again. Strike 2. Davis working very quickly. He's only on pitch 32. Consider Buckley is at pitch near 60 for Merrill. Swing and a miss. He strikes out the side again. Brady Davis has got it going for the Irish. Becker with the seeing eye single. Other than that, nothing happening for the Merrill Vandals. They're going to have to figure out Brady Davis, or it's going to be really, really tough as the Irish already got 5 runs as we head to the third inning. 5-0. Sacred Heart Academy back with a more Irish Regional Championship baseball red for this on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Clark Modular Homes in Mount Pleasant are a one-stop shop from the buy, the build, and beyond with their fantastic service department. Stop in to see their selection and purchase options today on Pickard Road, or visit them online at modularhomesbyclark.com. Clark Modular Homes, supporting Mid-Michigan youth in and out of the classroom.
Bill's Custom Fab can handle any job you need, from large-scale steel building projects to fixing your favorite stainless serving pan. Bill's Custom Fab can weld and fabricate anything. Call today at 989-772-5817 or stop by on Gover Parkway in Mount Pleasant. Good luck to all of our local athletes from Bill's Custom Fab.
The Bird in downtown Mount Pleasant, open every day but Sunday for lunch and dinner. Delicious pizza, the world-famous Bird Burger, handcrafted, fresh-baked subs, many apps, and much more. There's something for everyone at The Bird in downtown Mount Pleasant, where friends gather like family. The Bird, supporting high school sports in Mid-Michigan for nearly 100 years.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. You think about that Zeta Batchelder baller of the game, brought to you by our friends at Weefrich Financial. Well, I mean, goodness gracious, Grady Pratt's got a walk, a run scored. Jason Bogue has got an RBI double and a 2 RBI single, but I think Bogue's still second place right now because through 2 innings, Mr. Brady Davis has struck out 6 Vandals. He surrendered 1 single to Brendan Becker, but other than that, he has just absolutely mowed the Vandals down. He's gotten a lot of offensive help as well. As I mentioned, already 3 RBI in this game for Mr. Jason Bogue. Due up for the Irish, it is Wyatt Brown, Nate Seiler, and Brady Davis. Brown walked and was stranded his first time up in the first inning. Seiler flew out to right field to end that first inning. It was not an easy play to be made out in right field for the Merrill Vandals and Hayden Meacham. And then Brady Davis walked. Well, no, he struck out, but the ball got away from the catcher. He got to first base safely and came around to score. Brown check swing at the first pitch. It's going to be high, 1-0. 5-0 Irish with the lead. Top of the third inning. The Irish fortunate enough to play at home. They're not going to have to leave Mount Pleasant before they go down to East Lansing. The winner of this game today plays in the regional final Saturday, 12:30 at CMU. You win that game, you play again in the state quarterfinal, one of those weird scenarios where you win a trophy, then you got to play again for a chance to go to the state finals. Still a lot on the line, but just always an odd scenario when you got that second team out there that didn't just win, but they're both getting regional championship trophies. Brown ropes this one out to center field. Not an easy play. Gathering underneath it with some speed is Eli Evans. Evans got a great jump on that one. Otherwise, I think that would have been a single there for Wyatt Brown. And Brown got a hold of that one well, and that's all you can do sometimes. If you're going to have good play in the outfield and in the infield, you hit it at him. There's not much more you can do. Seiler now stepping up to the plate. He flew out to right field his last time up, or his first time up, I should say. That pitch will miss, and I think the most impressive thing about Nate Seiler, so when I talked to him after the game, it was kind of one of those, do you know what you just did against, this Beale City team? And he talked about, he just wanted to do it for everybody that had lost to Beale City the last couple of years. And I just kind of tell me, like, this sophomore's got it here. Whatever it is, Nate Gator Seiler has got it. 2-0 the count to the aforementioned Nate Seiler. Buckley winds, deals. This one's going to be set out towards center field. Again, not an easy play. Gathering underneath it to make the catch is going to be Eli Evans. So 2 up, 2 down here, 2 flyouts to center field for Sacred Heart. Well hit balls, but you'd like them to be a little bit more towards the gap if you're Seiler or Brown. Here comes Brady Davis to the plate. Again, I don't know exactly how to describe it. He struck out, but was able to reach first base as the ball got away from the catcher, and he came around to score. So on the old Spockman box score, I just got him as 1 for 1 with a run scored. 6 strikeouts as well. So pretty darn nice day for Mr. Davis. First pitch is going to miss, 1-0. Buckley winds and deals, looking to get a clean inning here. That one's going to be fouled off, 1-1. You go back to the first inning, it was a leadoff walk for Peratt. Back to the second inning, Davis was on base as the first batter. So both leadoff guys got out in the first and second. Buckley not having to deal with that here in the third. Looks much more comfortable with nobody on base. I think any pitcher in high school does. One of the big differences between high school baseball and high school softball is that threat of a steal. Davis digs back in on the left side. Here comes the pitch. Checking the swing. Nice hold off there from Davis. Count's now going to be 2-2. Buckley winds and deals. That's going to miss high. Really great at bat now from Brady Davis as he runs the count full. And he's already got a run scored. He's already struck out. Well, he's already got all 6 outs via strikeout. And that will be a strikeout there. Davis is going to go down on strikes. We are headed to the bottom of the third inning. Merrill Vandals coming right up. We'll be back with more right after this on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Weber Brothers Sawmill has been in the sawmill and logging business since 1950. Weber Brothers Sawmill buys standing timber and logs all over central and northern Michigan with National Hardwood Lumber Association certification. You can be assured of a professional job, from the marking and cruising of your woods through the harvest. Weber Brothers Sawmill is a proud supporter of our local high school student athletes. Central Michigan Sand and Gravel, just like our student athletes, they bring it. If you need sand or gravel, they bring it to you with fast service and a great price. For all of your sand and gravel needs, call Central Michigan Sand and Gravel today at 989-382-7089. Central Michigan Sand and Gravel, a proud supporter of our student athletes competing for their schools. Mount Pleasant Heating and Air Conditioning has been family-owned and serving mid-Michigan since 1962. They're dedicated to providing the best possible solution for your home or business. Mount Pleasant Heating and Air Conditioning is locally owned and supports our local community. For all of your heating and air conditioning needs, call Mount Pleasant Heating and Air Conditioning at 989-772-2881.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it on this Mid-Michigan Sports Network, coming to you live from our Barberry Studios, built by Konwinski Construction. And shout out to my main man, Mike Verlager. He pointed out it was a new pitcher that last half inning. It was Bryce Meacham taking over for Braden Buckley, and he got him to go 1, 2, 3. So let's see if the Merrill Bats can wake up now. But it's not going to be easy with Brady Davis back on the mound. So far, through 2 innings, he's done pretty good. He's given up 1 single, and then the other guys he's faced, well, he struck them out. Every single one of them. Austin Arcliffe shows bunt. He pulls it back, 2 bags. It's going to be over for a strike. Davis, again, continues to work very, very quickly, and he continues to just pound the strike zone. 0-2 now the count. Arcliffe awaits the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout. 7 punch-outs for Brady Davis. And he's been so efficient. It was a 1-2 count to Braden Buckley, a 1-2 count to Bryce Meacham, a 2-2 count to Ethan Madsen. Go now to the second inning. It was 2-2 to Becker, 1-2 to Ayat, 1-2 to Buckley. It was a 3-pitch strikeout to Evans, and now a 3-pitch strikeout to Arcliffe here to start this inning. As I say that, he misses on the first pitch to Meacham, but that might be the first pitch ball that he's had against any batter. He's been very, very efficient. That one's a little too tall, and Wyatt Brown, wishing he had a little bit more height like me, is not able to snag that one. 2-0 now the count. As I talk about Davis's control, he misses 2 in a row for the first time here this afternoon. That one also going to miss. 3-0 the count to Hayden Meacham. I imagine we'll see the number 9 hitter taking all the way from Merrill. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's 5-0 Sacred Heart Academy. And that will be over for a strike. Meacham was already tossing the bat to the dugout, and I feel like that's always a no-no to start heading towards first base. If it's close, that umpire sees you kind of running already, going to give you the old Lee Corso. Not so fast, my friend. 3-1 the count. Davis winds, deals. Over for a strike. Now runs the count full to Meacham. There's been 1 single, 7 strikeouts through the first time of the order here for Davis. And he'll get the punch out there. The first time through the order for Brady Davis against the Vandals. He mows them all down except for Brendan Becker, who had an infield single that if Davis, I talked about being taller, if Davis is another couple inches taller, he's able to make that play. We're back to the top of the order, and Braden Buckley, who this is going to be a familiar theme, struck out his first time up. He's going to foul this one back. He was way out in front of that one. I'll reset it here for you again. Davis is on the bump behind the plate. It's Wyatt Brown at first. Ryan Wiggins at second. Jason Bogue at short. Grady Perret at third. Nate Seiler. Out in left field, it's Luke Hacker. In center, it's Noah Zion. And right field, it's Tegan Duffy. That one's just going to miss. 1-1 now the count to Buckley. Again, Davis punched out 8 the first time through the order against Merrill. That bender's over for strike 2. Count now 1-2 to Buckley. This one's going to be popped up towards left field. Hacker closing in on it, gathers underneath it to make the catch, and that'll take him out in order. What a dominant performance so far from Brady Davis. Through 3, he has struck out 8. Yes, he has struck out 8 through 3. That is correct. We're going to be back with more Irish baseball right after this. They lead at 5-0 heading to the 4th inning. Regional semifinal action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Hey, Rowan, want to toss the ball around?
No, thanks.
A quick game of chess?
Maybe later.
Want me to teach you to ride a bike?
Papa, we did all that when I was little.
I guess you're right. Marbury Law's kept me so busy, time has just flown by.
There is one thing, though. You got any cookies?
Thought you'd never ask.
Joe Wentworth with Pradium Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates, is a proud supporter of our local high school student athletes, working hard and showing pride for our community. For all of your real estate needs, go with Joe. Joe Wentworth with Pradium Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates, 989-817-1291.
Block Electric Company is a proud supporter of local schools and high school student athletes, learning skills in and out of the classroom to lead our communities tomorrow. Good luck to all student athletes from Block Electric, and go Aggies! Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Chris Bachman, Mike Verlerger hanging out with me here at the softball press box. We got a beautiful view down here. It's turning out to be a beautiful afternoon. Sacred Heart Academy leads Merrill 5-0 as we head to the top of the fourth inning. Luke Hacker at the bat for the Irish. He had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. After Hacker, we're back to the top of the order with Pratt and Zion. Pratt on the day has walked, scored a run, and had a sacrifice RBI. Zion on the day has technically struck out twice, but on one of those he reached first base and was able to come around and score. 1-1 the count to Hacker. Big swing and a miss at that one as the senior was looking to put that one over the fence. And it's Bryce Meacham on the hill now for Merrill. After Braden Buckley was chasing. Buckley wasn't too bad. Again, he struck out some batters, but a few balls getting past the catcher really ended up wreaking havoc for this Merrill team. That one's also going to miss. That's now 2-2 to Hacker. Hacker playing left field for the Irish. He's going to send this one out towards left center field. Not going to be an easy play. And it will get down for extra bases. Hacker into second base with a stand-up double. And so the Irish now in 3 of 4 innings have had the leadoff runner on. Each time it happened in the first and the second. They were able to come around and score 5-0 Irish with the lead here in the fourth inning against Merrill. Big time hit there from Hacker. Now you got a runner in scoring position for Grady Pratt. When Pratt's had runners in scoring position this year, he has drove them in, including a sacrifice RBI back in the second inning. Star shortstop's back up there, batting from the left side. He'll take the first pitch, ball 1. Zion on deck, behind him Wiggins. Meacham taking his time, checks that runner at second base. Hacker with a big lead. That one's going to miss high. And the game right there, Meacham's looking back at second base, and Hacker's just kind of dancing all over the place, saying, try and do something, then missing way high as Meacham. That's what base running can do to a really good pitcher. It can just make things that much more difficult as they miss outside once again. You could tell Meacham's worried about that runner at second base, but right now the game is at the plate with Pratt. 5-0 our score. Nobody out, top of the fourth inning. Pratt checks his swing. It'll be over for a strike anyway. 3-1 now the count to the senior. Again, on the year, you look at these numbers for Pratt. They don't seem real. He has over a 600 on-base percentage, a 522 average. That's ball 4 there. So now you've got the speed of Hacker at second, the speed of Pratt at first. This duo is going to be a threat for the old double steal. You bring Zion up to the plate as well. Talk about a bunt that would really, really put a lot of pressure on the defense for Merrill. They performed very well here today, but this is a difficult spot. Nobody out. You're trailing 5-0. You can't let anything up. Zion shows bunt. It's going to miss 1-0. You go back to that last inning, Meacham came in and got him to go 1-2-3, and now it starts off with a double and a walk here in the fourth inning. Meacham checks the runner. Zion shows bunt. It's going to go to the backstop. I just need to get that one up a little bit higher to get it down on the ground. Ryan Wiggins on deck for Sacred Heart. He's had an RBI single and a walk. He scored 2 runs already. Zion shows bunt once again. He gets this one down. It's a good one. Play over to first is in time, but a great sacrifice bunt there. Moving up to third is Hacker. Moving up to second is Peratt on the beautiful sacrifice bunt from Noah Zion. That'll bring up Ryan Wiggins with 2 runners in scoring position. And this is why you do that sacrifice bunt right here. There's now 1 out, and you got your 3-4 hitters coming up with 2 runners in scoring position. Wiggins sends a single to the outfield here. 1 to the gap is going to really open up this game. It's already 5-0 Irish, and dominating on the mound is Brady Davis. First pitch is going to miss to Wiggins, 1-0. Wiggins, again, just the most casual batting stance you're ever going to see. He gets the button down. Not a play at home. There might have been one. A great cover from second base to get Wiggins in time, but it's the RBI sacrifice bunt for Ryan Wiggins. Another run comes across for Sacred Heart Academy. Coming in to score is Mr. Grady Peratt, or pardon me, it's Mr. Hacker. Peratt is now at third base with Bogue stepping up to the plate, who's 2 for 2 on the day. RBI double and a 2 RBI single. He'd love to go 3 for 3 here and drive in another run, but another insurance run across, you could call it, for Sacred Heart. They lead it 6-0. That's going to get away. Peratt's going to speed in to score his second run of the ball game, and it's now 7-0 Irish with the lead here in the top of the 4th inning. We've got 2 outs as Bogue steps back to the dish, down in the count, or ahead in the count, 1-0. And so you get 1 hit and 2 runs across if you're Sacred Heart. That is how you manufacture runs. This one's going to be fouled out of play by Bogue, 1-1. Tegan Duffy is on deck. 7-0. Irish lead it. Here comes the pitch from Meacham. That's going to be over for a strike. 1-2 now the count to Jason Bogue. 7-0 our score. And with what Davis has been doing on the bump, Sacred Heart is going to be tough to beat here today. There's a strikeout for Meacham. Swinging through it was Bogue, but more damage was done. 2 more runs come across for Sacred Heart Academy. So 2 in the first, 3 in the second, nothing in the third, 2 more in the fourth. The Merrill Bats better wake up, and they got to do it soon, but it's not going to be easy, as it was 8 strikeouts through the lineup the first time for Mr. Brady Davis. We'll see if he can continue his dominance when we come back here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. 7-0 Sacred Heart Academy with the lead as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Back with more Irish Championship Baseball right after this. The Diner, where homemade favorites come to life every day for breakfast and lunch. From fluffy pancakes to savory sandwiches, The Diner has your cravings covered. Discover the perfect blend of comfort food and camaraderie at The Diner. Join them every Friday night till 7 for their famous fish fry. The Diner on North Mission, Mount Pleasant.
Jenna Gates
and Kyle Gates here. We are the 5th generation with Gates Drilling and Service.
We've been serving our friends and neighbors in Michigan since 1893.
We have the latest and greatest well drilling technology, allowing us to put in wells where others can't.
Lake lots and tight spaces are no problem.
From our family to yours, thank you, and call at 989-772-7841 for all your well drilling and service needs.
Gates Drilling and Service, where Gates goes, water flows.
Bryce Updegraff with Brady Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates. Thanks to coaches and officials who put in the time to help student athletes achieve their dreams and goals. For all of your real estate needs, the Bryce is right with Bryce Updegraff. With Brady Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates. 989-620-6595.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Davis working quickly at strike 1 to Bryce Meacham here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Through 3, Mr. Davis has 8 punch-outs, and he's already ahead against Meacham here 0-2. Lefty Davis again holds that pitching hand behind his back as he gets ready. Now puts it in his glove. Gets things squared away for the curveball that's going to miss. 1-2 now the count. Meacham struck out his first time up. Ethan Matson's on deck. He struck out his first time up. Here comes a hit towards short. It's deep in the hole. Peratt, what a throw over to Wiggins in time for the out. That right there is what makes Grady Peratt an all-stater. Yeah, the batting average and all that stuff is great, but it's those type of plays right there that when they become routine for a high school baseball team, you're going to have a chance to make some noise. 7-0 our score here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Coming to you live from the Barbary Law Studios, built by Konowinski Construction. Love going out, Gates Drilling and Service, a Bill's Custom Fab, the Bird All-American Grill, Clark Modular Homes, a Weefrich Financial, along with a Woods Household Appliance. Again, that Zayd Batchelder baller of the game. It's going to be hard for anybody to unthrone Mr. Brady Davis, who has struck out 8 now through 3 1/3. He winds and deals ahead in the count, 0-1. Check swing not going around. It'll be a 1-1 now count to Ethan Matson. Brady Davis doesn't really move off of the bump that much. He gets the ball, and he is ready to go. That one just going to miss as well. 2-1 now, the count to Matson. For Davis, you're probably thinking, I got that call the last couple innings. He's on pitch number 53 here. I believe he can get up to 75 and still be available for Saturday. That's what you're looking to do if you are Coach Hartman. That one's also going to miss. That one's low and inside. 3-1 now, the count to Matson. And with the way Davis is throwing, I wouldn't be surprised to see Matson taking all the way here. If you were Merrill, you just need base runners. You're down 7-0. And he does take all the way, and it will be a walk surrendered for Davis. You know, look at what he's done on the year. He has not walked many batters. Davis's numbers on the mound are just absolutely unbelievable. He's 9-0 on the year, just giving up 3 earned runs. That was just his 22nd walk to go against like 85 strikeouts. He's got a .4 ERA. Comes the windup in the pitch to Becker. Becker takes that one, but it'll be in there for a strike, 0-1 to count. Runner on first base is Matson, just the second base runner of the game for Merrill here in the second inning. Davis checks that runner. Back in time is Matson. 1-1 the count to Becker. Got one out. Bottom of the fourth inning. That one's going to miss. 1-1 now the count to Becker. And don't see any arms warming up yet for Sacred Heart, but as I said, we're not going to see Davis get over that threshold now that the Irish are up 7, where he will not be available on Saturday. And the winner of this game plays Saturday, 12:30 at Tennyson Stadium on Central Michigan's campus. Comes a grounder up the middle. It's actually going to hit. Did they get the double play there? It actually hit the runner, and so he's going to be out. They zip it over to first. Is that in time for the out? No, they're going to say he is safe. And so a close play there, but something you don't see very often as Matson gets out, as the ball just kind of smoked him off the bat of Becker. Becker's going to reach via a fielder's choice. But if you're Sacred Heart Academy, with the way this game is going, you just kind of shrug your shoulders and say, all right, 2 outs, fourth inning, we're up 7-0. Let's keep on rolling here. Stepping to the plate now is Harrison Ayat. And Becker now has actually reached base both of his times at the plate now, whereas pretty much everybody else around him has struck out. First pitch is going to miss to Ayat. Colin Buckley on deck. That one's going to miss low, 1-1 the count to Ayat. And the number of arms that you could see in this game, you could see Gator Seiler for a few pitches, but I imagine he will be safe till Saturday. But Bo could come in and throw. Peratt could come in and throw. Here comes a liner up the middle. Peratt's going to field it and then just step on second base for out number 3. A really smart play there from Grady Peratt. He thought about making that throw over to first, but then realized, I don't got to do that. I just got to take a few steps and step on the bag. We're headed to inning number 5. It has been a dominant performance from Brady Davis on the mound. He's only allowed, well, technically 2 base runners if you want to count that fielder's choice as well. And the bats have been dominating for the Irish as well. They scored 2 in the first, 3 in the second, and went 1, 2, 3 on the third. Scored 2 more runs in the fourth inning. It'll be Tegan Duffy, Wyatt Brown, and Nate Seiler due up, brought to you by our friends at Mumford Oil and Gas Supply, ENS Graphics, GNS Mechanical, Weber Brothers Sawmill, Winsky Construction, Mount Pleasant Heating and AC, along with J&J Auto. 7-0 the score here. Heading back out onto the bump is Bryce Meacham for the Merrill Vandals. And Saturday's action, we're just kind of waiting and seeing where Kyle Sandel is going to be, and then we'll kind of be in the opposite place. And so if they're at CMU, we'll be in Vesterberg for some Beale City softball. If they're in Vesterberg for some Beale City softball, we'll be at CMU for some Sacred Heart Academy baseball, as it looks like they are going to hang on to win here today. Shepherd Blue Jays are also in action as they take on one of the top teams in the state in Escanaba, and the Lady Pioneers of Clare also in action. I believe they will be a pretty big favorite in their first game that they are going to play. But if you check things out, a few days ago, I was able to kind of post all the scenarios of what's going down. And so Clare will be taking on Standish at 10 a.m. Saturday at Houghton Lake. Clare's 35-2. They've already beat Standish twice this year. On the other side of the bracket is 19-18 Bullet Creek, who Clare has already bested twice this year in Leroy Pine River. And so Clare's going to be a big, big favorite in their softball regional. And the slide over to softball regional for Beale City. It's 30-8 Beale City against 25-8 Fowler. The other side of that bracket is 29-9 MLS against 12-19 Mayo. And so whoever wins between Fowler and Beale City, you're going to expect it to be Saginaw, Michigan Lutheran Seminary. First pitch is going to miss to Mr. Tegan Duffy as he steps up here. Top of the fifth inning for Sacred Heart Academy. The Irish lead it 7-0. That one's also going to miss. And as far as pitching numbers go, you also start to think, if you're Sacred Heart Academy, if we get 3 more runs here, maybe nobody else will have to pitch. This one's hit out towards right field, but it's going to be hit right at the right fielder. Making the catch is Hayden Meacham. And I said it in the pregame, I feel very vindicated about it now. When you look at the scores for Merrill, you can just tell that they're not going to kick the ball around. They're not going to drop it in the outfield. And it's been a very, very clean game fielding-wise on both sides. Wyatt Brown stepping up to the plate. He's technically 1 for 1 on the day. He has a walk back in the first inning, was stranded, and he flew out to center field. That was back in the third inning. Here we are in the fifth inning with the catcher stepping up to the plate for Sacred Heart Academy. Base is empty, 1 out here in the top of the fifth inning. Meacham doesn't necessarily step off, but he kind of steps back there. Now he's ready to go at the first pitch here, probably with the 0-1. That's going to miss. 1-1 now the count to Wyatt Brown. That one's over for a strike. Brown's going to step out for a second now, readjust the batting gloves. As the righty catcher digs back in for the 1-2. This one's going to be sent right up the middle. Not an easy play. It's caught at shortstop. A fantastic catch out there made by Braden Buckley, who did start this game pitching, but that was lined right to him. He was able to make the catch. Nate Seiler now stepping up to the plate. He's hit it well the couple times he's been at the plate, with a fly out to right field and a fly out to center field. Again, he was the hero, the Zaid Batchelder baller of the game this past Saturday, as the Irish were able to win their first district championship since 2016. First pitch is going to miss to Seiler. 1-0 the count. Sophomore is going to take that one as well, but this one will be over for a strike. We've got 2 outs, top of the fifth inning. Sacred Heart Academy leads Merrill 7-0 here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network at our Barbary Law Studios. Built by Winsky Construction. Also love going out to Bill's Custom Fab, Gates Drilling and Service, The Bird All-American Grill, Clark Modular Homes, Weefrich Financial, and Woods Household Appliance. That one's going to be grounded foul. Count now 1-2 to Seiler. Seiler's going to take that one all the way, and it actually plunks him. And so he'll head down to first base. And if you're Seiler and you're going to get hit by a pitch, the curveball, that's the one to do it right there. He just kind of waited for it, and it plunked him, and he trots down to first base. Brady Davis stepping up to the plate. I've got him in the Spockman box score, 1 for 2 with a run scored. But he technically kind of has 2 strikeouts against him, but he was able to reach base safely back in the second, was able to come around and score. 7-0 is the score here in the 5th inning. Check the runner over at first base. Diving back safely in time is Nate Seiler. Back to Meacham. It goes on the bump. Checks that runner. Winds and deals. That's going to be over for a strike to Davis. Count 0-1 to the junior, now facing his pitching counterpart. Quick throw over to first base from Meacham. Trying to catch Seiler napping, but the sophomore was ready for it. Check the runner once again. Seiler's back once again. 2 outs here. Top of the 5th inning. Davis is going to foul this one off to backstop. Got 0-2 to Brady Davis. There's 2 outs. Top of the 5th inning. Irish lead at 7-0 here in the regional semifinal. Davis digging in on the left side. Here comes the pitch. This one's going to be fouled down the third baseline. It's going to get out of play into the softball bullpen here. A couple fouled off now by Davis. That's what you want to do when you get 2 strikes against you, is just continue to battle, continue to battle. There's 2 outs. Runner at first base is Nate Seiler. Gets a small lead away, being held on over there at the plate is Brady Davis. Here comes the pitch. Davis is going to pop this one up. It's going to be in a tough spot, though, but it's just going to be foul. If that would have been fair, it would have been in no man's land in between third base and left field. It could have given Seiler a chance to score, as he was already rounding second before that ball hit the ground. If it scored it away from the left fielder, that would have been extra bases for Brady Davis. But instead, we'll do the 0-2 again. That's the 3rd pitch on 0-2 that Davis has now fouled off. A nice job battling up there by the lefty. Seiler back at first base. This one's going to be hit fair down the third baseline. Rounding second. Could be a close play at third. Safely is Seiler. Now runners at second and third after the double from Brady Davis. And now Seiler's going to be able to come in and score, I believe, because some type of interference play there. So it is now 8-0 at Sacred Heart Academy. Davis is able to move up to third as well. 8-0. Irish with the lead. Luke Hacker coming to the plate. The last time he was up, he doubled. He's technically 1 for 1 on the day, as he said, a sacrifice bunt his first time up. He doubled and came around to score in the 4th inning on a sacrifice bunt from Noah Zion. Now a little tossing around here of the baseball with the pitcher and second and third base, as they want to make sure everybody is on the same page. And Coach Hartman now trying to get the answer here. 8-0 is the score. Brady Davis is at third base. Don't have a pinch runner coming in for him, so maybe his day is done on the mound. But Hacker is at the plate right now. If the Irish get 2 more runs across here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning, they could end it in 5 here. First pitch to Luke Hacker is going to miss. And me saying that 2 runs needed, you don't want Grady Perrette to come to the plate here in this inning. If Luke Hacker gets on, that would mean 2 runners on, or just maybe that 1 run comes across as well, too. Because if you go back to districts, Pratt was 7 for 8 in districts. Today, he's technically hasn't had a real at-bat, as he's walked twice and has a sacrifice fly for an RBI. 2-1 now, the count to Hacker. And Hacker knows it as well, too. He's a great hitter at the plate, but he knows he turns it around to his senior buddy. Perrette could have a chance to make it very, very difficult for Merrill to come back in this one. He's going to rope this one out towards left center or right center field. It is going to be caught. So a fly out to right field to bring us to the bottom of the fifth inning, but the Irish do get one more run across here. It's 8-0 Sacred Heart Academy as we head to the bottom of the fifth inning. We'll see if Brady Davis comes back out onto the hill for the Irish. He has been dominant in this one, striking out a whole load of Merrill Vandal batters. We'll talk more about it when we come back. You're listening to Irish Regional Championship Baseball on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Back with more right after this. Get your yard ready for spring and summer with Martinez Lawn Care. Martinez Lawn Care is scheduling spring cleanups now, along with bush and tree trimming, landscaping needs, and scheduled mowing services. Find Martinez Lawn Care on Facebook or call them at 989-317-5536. Weefridge Financial knows it can be incredibly overwhelming to navigate the world of financial planning. With trusted guidance and easy-to-understand advice, you can feel comfortable in your financial future with Weefridge Financial. Weefridge Financial assists people in all stages of life with a specialization in retirement and investment planning. Experience the power of working with an advisor dedicated to your success. Visit WeefridgeFinancial.com. Visit them in downtown Mount Pleasant. Call or text 989-953-7888. Weefridge Financial, member SIPC. Konwinski Construction offers a full range of construction services on small and large projects. Konwinski Construction is a leader in the community and are proud to support those student athletes who will be leading our community tomorrow. Konwinski Construction on Gover Parkway, Mount Pleasant.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back inside our Barberry Law Studios here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network, built by Konwinski Construction. And more love going out to our friends, Bryant Family Farms. They have got subscription flowers throughout the summer right now. You can have, Mother's Day is gone, but you can still be getting flowers for Mom all summer long. Make it easy with Bryant Family Farms. Also love going out to JJ Painting and Martinez Lawn Care, Central Michigan Sand and Gravel, Block Electric, The Diner, All Seasons Fireworks, Pier Plumbing, Isabella Bank, Hanging by a Thread, along with Joe Wentworth, Bryce Updegrath, Pradium Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates, along with our friends, Brad Melly, Well Drilling and Construction, Mount Pleasant Automotive, the Isabella Community Sportsplex, Barry Funeral Home, Mid-Michigan Industries, Boomer's Lawn Care, Doozy's Ice Cream Place. I'll just keep rolling through them. Rick's Food Center, almost up north, and Stitches for Britches. As I say, that was a high fly ball at the center field. It's going to get down for a hit. Colin Buckley will lead things off here in the bottom of the fifth inning with a single to center field, and Brady Davis is out of the game. Grady Perrette is in for him, and so a great start if you're Merrill, if you're trying to come back. The starter is now out of the game, and Perrette still really good himself, but instead of that .4 ERA, it's more like a 2.6 ERA. Perrette winds and deals. That one's going to be over for a strike. And if you're Coach Hartman, Coach Scott Perrette, you're telling Grady Perrette, just come out here and throw strikes. They have got, 9 outs left? 5, 6, 7, and they need 7 runs to do it. It's going to be 8 runs, 9 outs. Just got to go out here and throw strikes if you're Grady Perrette and let that defense play behind you. 0-2 now is the count to Eli Evans. Evans awaits the pitch. It's going to be inside. 1-2 now the count. Austin Artcliffe on deck. Hayden Meacham behind him. And Evans at the plate. All three of them their first time up. They struck out against Brady Davis. That one's going to be low. If you're Grady Perrette and you're going to miss, that's where you want to be, is low and just out of the zone. Perrette checks the runner. Time is called for. Perrette digs back in on the mound. And Perrette over a 600 on-base percentage, and that's going to go up here today with a couple of walks he had. Check swing there. Not going to go around. There's, say, Evans. And so that'll run the count full 3-2. Or no, they're going to say he went down via strikes there. Good call by the umpire behind the plate saying that he went around. That'll bring up Artcliffe to the plate with 1 out. And a big out there for Sacred Heart Academy. Quick throw by Perrette over to first base. Almost in time for the tag to Brady Davis. So now you've got Gator Seiler at short, Wiggins at third, Davis at first, Perrette moving to the plate. Those are the only movements going on. Now that one's just going to miss for Perrette to Artcliffe there. Davis checks that runner over at first base. Buckley now knows that Perrette's got a good move. He's got to be careful. That's going to be over for a strike. 1-1 the count to Artcliffe. Meacham on deck, then it's back to the top of the order. And if you're Merrill, you got to feel like you got to get it back to the top of the order and get a couple runs here. Here comes the pitch from Peratt. It's going to bounce up there. Great job by Wyatt Brown, keeping it in front of him to not allow that runner to take second base. And I talked about it so much last year with Jake Gauthier. I'm going to talk about it a bunch with Wyatt Brown. He just doesn't let the ball get behind him very much, allow those runners to advance. That one's going to miss from Peratt. Count's now going to be 3-1. Peratt checks that runner, winds it, deals with the 3-1. That'll be over for a strike. It'll run the count full. Full count moments ago to Evans when he got his first punch out. And not much of a lead over there now at first from Buckley. Peratt winds and deals with the payoff pitch. It's going to miss. And so now a pair of base runners on for Merrill. This is the first time that they've had multiple base runners in the game. And the second, Brendan Becker got to second base. In the fourth, Matson walked, but then got out as one was lined off of him, and so Becker reached via fielder's choice. A pair of base runners on for the first time today for Merrill. 8-0, Sacred Heart Academy with the lead here in the bottom of the fifth inning. If you're Merrill, you got to get something going here, and Peratt's going to miss with the first pitch, 1-0. Short lead from Buckley at second. This one's going to be hit down the first baseline, playable for Brady Davis. Really smart play from Davis. Could be easy to try and get the lead runner there, try and get the double play from second to first. He just takes the out that he knows is there. As I said, you're now down to 7 outs, and you need 8 runs if you're Merrill. You can go an out per run if you're Sacred Heart Academy and be just fine with it. Runners now at second and third. Back to the top of the order with Braden Buckley. He struck out and flew out to left field, his 2 times up. But a big moment here for the leadoff hitter for Merrill with 2 runners in scoring position and his team down big in the late innings. Big moment here. I feel like if Buckley can get a hit, Merrill's going to have some momentum going forward. If not, it's going to be really, really difficult. That one will miss. 1-1 the count. Peratt gets ready for the next pitch. He'll lead off the 6th inning for Sacred Heart Academy. Nice breaking ball that time from Peratt. He got Buckley way out in front. He's now ahead in the count 1-2. 8-0 Irish lead it. Bottom of the 5th inning here in the regional semifinals. This one's going to be sent to the outfield for a base hit. That could drive in the run. Zion with a great throw home. That will hold the runner. Great play from Zion out in center field, holding that runner at third. That was a big-time play there from the junior Noah Zion. That'll now bring up Bryce Meacham. Runners on the corners. Again, if you're Grady Peratt, you're just out there playing catch with Wyatt Brown right now. If you give up a couple of those line drives, whoop-de-doo, you're up 8-0. Peratt settles, he winds, he deals. Bryce Meacham now at the plate for the Vandals. First one's going to miss, 1-0. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Irish lead it 8-1 now. Coming in to score was Artcliffe there. Or was it? It's 8-1 on the scoreboard, but I feel like it's still 8-0 as I look back at. Yeah, it is 1 as I look back at the smarter guys in the box here with me, Mr. Mike Verliger and Nate Katzinger. It is 8-1. Sacred Heart with the lead, and now runners at second and third as Buckley moves up along with Braden Buckley. Nice job by Brown keeping that one in front of him. Count is now 3-0 to Meacham. Brett taking a little bit more time now. The runners on second and third and a run already across here in the 5th. Taking all the way that time was Bryce Meacham. Barely even put the bat up on the shoulder. 3-1 the count. On deck is Ethan Matson. That one's in there for a strike. Second time today we've seen a Vandal player ready to toss that bat, and then the umpire, I think, kind of calling him back a little bit right there. Count is full. Big moment right here in this game. 2 runners in scoring position. 2 outs. Full count. Number 2 hitter at the plate. It's going to be hit right to Seiler at short. Over in time for the out. So 1 run does come across if you are the Vandals, but a big time great job. Yeah, I'm going to use that exact phrase right there from Grady Perrette to stay patient, just to continue to throw strikes. Grady Perrette will lead off the 6th inning for Sacred Heart Academy here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. They lead it 8-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The winner of this game, it's hard to say it's not Portland St. Pat's. I believe they're 29-1 on the year, but obviously you got to win the game to get to the game, and it's 29-1 Portland St. Pat's versus 15-17 Dansville. Dansville and St. Pat's are also in the same conference, similar to Sacred Heart and Merrill. So St. Pat's, they've bested Dansville a couple times already this year. And well, how do I know that? Well, Portland St. Pat's has only lost 1 time this year. It was on this field here at Sacred Heart Academy for the Irish Invitational, as the Irish had a great day besting Portland St. Pat's and Traverse City St. Francis. Yeah, it's the only loss of the year. And so St. Pat's wins today, which I highly expect them to do. The Irish win here today. You'll have number 1 and number 2 in the state in the regional final at CMU's Tennyson Stadium. And you go back to this last Friday and Saturday with softball with Beal and Sacred Heart, and baseball is Beal and Sacred Heart. It'd be really, really cool to have it be a regional final one year instead of a district final. But whenever I bring stuff up like that, Jason McIntyre and Bubba McLean, another birthday shout out to him, I always bring up, how do you think Saginaw High and Saginaw Arthur Hill spent all those years in basketball and how they felt about it? And so tough districts are how you become state champions sometimes. Here we go. 6th inning. The Irish lead it 8-1 over Merrill. It's back to the top of the order with Grady Perrette as a sacrifice RBI, 2 walks, and 2 runs scored. So technically, in the old box score, I think he'd be 0 for 0 on the day with an RBI and 2 runs scored. This one's going to be fluttered down the third baseline. It'll go foul. Count quickly 0-2 to Perrette. It looks like it's Meacham back out on the bump for the Vandals. Perrette, again, has only struck out 8 times this year. Looks like we got Jackson Verliger on deck. This one, Perrette kind of reaches out and touches that when it gets by the shortstop. He looks to take second base now as well. He holds up at the last second as I kind of do the lean with them out there on the base path. But when you're a good hitter like Grady Perrette, sometimes you just reach out. All you got to do is put the bat on the ball, and the bat will do the work for you. Now stepping up to the plate is going to be Jackson Verliger. That has me thinking we might have Noah Zion warming up maybe to come out and throw a little bit as well for the Irish, as they want to save every pitcher they can. A lead from Perrette from first base. Again, the all-time stolen base leader here at Sacred Heart Academy. They check the runner. He dives back in time. And Scott Perrette, 30 years ago, pretty much set every record. His son has broken about half of them. So Scott still has the hits in a season, I think runs in a season, along with home runs in a season and batting average. And so Dad gets to hang on to a few stats, but his son breaking a whole bunch of them as well. Verliger stepping up to the plate. Meacham winds and deals. That's going to miss. Back over to first base, back in time is Perrette. But when you got a speedy guy like Brady Perrette on the base path, you got to keep your eye on him. Verliger ready for the 1-2. He's going to send this one deep to the outfield. Not going to be an easy play. Track it back. It's going to get over the left fielder's head. Perrette is going to round third. He's going to come in to score. It's an RBI double for Jackson Verliger. Big time ride there from Verliger. If you had a little bit of wind going here today, that one might have been out of here over the left field fence. There wasn't much of a play to be made for Austin Artcliffe as that one was so deep. Big time smash there for Verliger. 9-1 Sacred Heart Academy. Verlegger just crushed that one. Wiggins now stepping up to the plate. Wiggins on the day is technically 1 for 1 with 2 RBI and 2 runs scored. He had an RBI single in the first. He walked, came around to score in the second, had an RBI sacrifice bunt back in the fourth. Verlegger leads away from second. First pitch is going to be outside. Again, if you are Sacred Heart Academy, it's now 9-1. You put 2 more runs across here in this inning, you may not have to play 7. And when it comes to the pitch count, even if it's Pratt or Zion or somebody else out there, it's a big deal. The more you can save your arms, the better. Nice pitch at that time for Meacham. It's on the inside part of the zone for a strike. The sun is finally out officially here at the ball fields of Sacred Heart Academy on Lincoln Road. That one's going to miss. 2-1 to count to Wiggins. Wiggins on that one almost looked like a slap hitter coming out of the box a little bit on that one. Steps back in there, batting from the left side. Runner in scoring position is Verlegger. They look to check the runner. Verlegger's back easily. Wiggins digs back in. Again, the most casual batting stance you're ever going to see for a kid who's, all conference, all state material. That one will be over for a strike. 2-2 now the count to Ryan Wiggins. Couple big waves of the bat. Doesn't step out of the box. He's ready to go with the 2-2. Verlegger, the healthy lead away from second base. This one's going to be roped out to the outfield as well. Not an easy play for the left fielder, but they're going to make the catch. Ooh, boy, Verlegger was already ready to round third and come in home, but a fantastic catch out in the outfield was made that time by Austin Artcliffe. He wasn't going to have one go over his head this time. He did a good job tracking that one down. Bogue now stepping up to the plate. 9-1 our score here, top of the 6th inning. Irish with the lead. Bogue batting from the right side, wearing number 4. The Irish out there, the red jerseys, the white pants, the green and white lettering. First one's going to be over for a strike to Bogue. Bogue 2 for 3 on the day with 3 RBI. Here comes the pitch. This one's going to be fouled down the third baseline. Count now 0-2. Still just 1 out here. Top of the 6th inning. 9-1 is the score. Grady Perrette led off the inning with a single. Jackson Verlegger blasted a double out to left field, bringing in Perrette. Now they look to check the runner. Back safely is Verlegger as they're trying to get to strike him out, throw him out as Bo goes down on strikes for the second time in a row. But the senior all-sports star did the damage he needed to do back in innings number 1 and 2. Had an RBI double in the first and a 2 RBI single in the second inning. And Portland St. Pat's and Dansville have to play Thursday at Fulton at 7 p.m. Think about that. You throw your number 1 in that game, they might not have a chance. So that could be a big deal for the Irish going forward. And, again, the Irish have already bested Portland St. Pat's 1 this year, but maybe an upset brewing as Portland St. Pat's might not be able to go with the game plan they had. And that's the exact reason why both of these teams wanted to make sure they got this game in here today. Duffy digs back in. He's down on the count 0-2. That one's going to miss outside 1-2. Duffy flew out to right field his first time up. Struck out his other 2 times than that. So a little bit of an opposite day here for Duffy as it was in the districts. But with his team up 9-1, I don't think he cares all that much. Here comes the pitch. He's going to foul this one off out of play. Count will remain 1-2. 9-1 our score here, top of the 6th inning. The Irish in control against the Merrill Vandals. Winner of this game plays Saturday in the regional final at CMU's Tennyson Stadium. We won't know who they're going to play. There's going to be a punch-out for Meacham. We're headed to the bottom of the sixth inning. Another run does come across for the Irish on the RBI double, blasted by Mr. Jackson Verlager. We're going to take another break here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. When we come back, the Irish are 6 outs away, and they're up by 8 runs. Things are looking pretty good for the Academy right now to move on to the regional final Saturday. Again, it'll be 12:30 at CMU's Tennyson Stadium. Back with more Irish Championship Baseball right after this on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. When your team or business needs to look good, don't get left hanging. Call or stop by Hanging by a Thread in Wademan, the official embroiders for the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Hanging by a Thread, a proud supporter of local schools.
J&J Auto in Wademan is Mid-Michigan's elite automotive repair shop. J&J Auto offers complete collision repair and mechanical repair. Stop by on Wademan Road or call them today at 989-644-8908. J&J Auto, proud supporters of high school student athletes.
Value is not just a price. When you buy something for your home, it's an investment. Knowing that you're getting a great deal and service after the sale is priceless. At Woods Household, we only carry quality products for your home at competitive prices. Furniture that is attractive and durable. Comfortable mattresses that last for years. Flooring that stands up to wear and tear. These are all products that last by trusted name brands like FlexSteel, Serta, Whirlpool, and many more. So shop the Woods way.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. A little bit of new alignment out here for Sacred Heart Academy. Now on the mound is going to be Mr. Noah Zion. Zion on the year has been pretty electric. He's walked a few more batters than maybe you would like, but when you look at his batting average against his ERA, it's absolutely fantastic for the Irish. He misses on the first pitch. At the plate for the Merrill Vandals is Ethan Matson. 1-1 the count. Matson digs back in. Shortstop wearing 11. Struck out in the first inning. He walked in the fourth, but ultimately was nabbed out. I've got it ruled as a fielder's choice as the liner just kind of went off of him. One's over for a strike. 1-2 now the count for Noah Zion. It's Tegan Duffy out in center field, Brady Davis out in right, and Luke Hacker out in left, kind of the new alignment for the Sacred Heart Academy defense. Digging back in is Matson. Here comes the throw from Zion. That's going to miss. 2-2 the count. I really love the decision-making here from head coach Earl Hartman, saying let's get as many of our guys out there as we can, not just to get some action, but to keep all those pitching numbers down. This one's going to be fouled off. We'll do the 2-2 once again with Matson. Zion, slow trot back to the mound. The Irish lead at 9-1 here. Bottom of the sixth inning against the Merrill Vandals. Vandals down to their final 6 outs, and they need 8 runs. That one's going to miss. 3-2 now the count. And on the year, Zion, in just a .56 ERA, struck out 17 and walked 6. That one's going to be fouled off. We'll do it again. Or it's going to miss, 3-2. Holy moly, and Nick Katzinger checking out some scores. Baseball District 10, Battle Creek Lakeview taking out Battle Creek Central by the score of 38-0. That is not a football score. That is a baseball score. 38-0. Whew. Going down on strikes is Matson. That'll bring Becker to the plate. He's going to foul this one off. Technically, Becker is 1 for 2 on the day, but he's the only guy that's been on base both of his plate appearances. He singled back in the second, stole second base, and was stranded there. He reached via fielder's choice back in the fourth. Zion's going to get the strike 2 call over the plate that time. Quickly down 0-2 is the aforementioned Brendan Becker. Done a really nice job at third base for the Vandals all year long. Here comes the 0-2. That's just going to miss low in the zone for Zion. Harrison Ayotte up next. The Irish lead at 9-1 here in the 6th. Reaching out and just barely getting the bat on that one. Fielded at third base by Seiler. Not an easy play, but he charges and makes the play. So if Seiler waits on that one, he's going to give time for Becker to beat out that throw. Instead, he charges in on the grass, is able to make the play and get the throw in time to Wiggins for the out. Now 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Score 9-1. Sacred Heart Academy with the lead. Stepping up to the plate is the first baseman, Harrison Ayat. Zion's going to miss with the first pitch, 1-0. Zion working quickly, winds and deals. That one's going to be over for a strike. And that was one of the things Scott Peratt said to me when I was talking with him earlier this week is how good this team is and how many good arms that they have. Zion is a guy, if it was a different year, would be your number 1 or number 2. Instead, you just got the good fortune of having so many guys. Here comes the grounder, fielded by Bogue at second base, over in time for the out. And so that is going to be 3 up, 3 down here in the 6th. A nice job by Noah Zion. We're headed to the top of the 7th inning. Wyatt Brown, Nate Seiler, Brady Davis due up for the Irish. If they can add any insurance, it's going to make whoever comes out and throw the 7th very, very comfortable. And the way Zion looked out there, I won't be surprised to see if we see the junior back on the bump. It's 9-1. Sacred Heart Academy with the lead as we head to the 7th inning. 7th and hopefully final inning here at the ball fields, Earl Hartman Field. Be back with more Irish baseball right after this on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Clark Modular Homes in Mount Pleasant are a one-stop shop from the buy, the build, and beyond with their fantastic service department. Stop in to see their selection and purchase options today on Pickard Road or visit them online at modularhomesbyclark.com. Clark Modular Homes, supporting Mid-Michigan youth in and out of the classroom.
Bill's Custom Fab can handle any job you need, from large-scale steel building projects to fixing your favorite stainless serving pan. Bill's Custom Fab can weld and fabricate anything. Call today at 989-772-5817 or stop by on Gover Parkway in Mount Pleasant. Good luck to all of our local athletes from Bill's Custom Fab.
The Bird in downtown Mount Pleasant, open every day but Sunday for lunch and dinner. Delicious pizza, the world-famous Bird Burger, handcrafted, fresh-baked subs, many apps, and much more. There's something for everyone at The Bird in downtown Mount Pleasant, where friends gather like family. The Bird, supporting high school sports in Mid-Michigan for nearly 100 years.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. We are into the 7th inning. The Sacred Heart Academy boys lead Merrill 9-1. We've got a new pitcher on the it's going to be Meacham back out there on the bump for Merrill. If you're Meacham and the Vandals, you have got to hold Sacred Heart Academy scoreless here. Earl Hartman heading down the third baseline. Get in position. Scott Peratt heading down the first baseline. Making sure got everybody ready to rock or ready to go. Couple more warm-ups around the way. 9-1 here's the score heading into the 7th inning. And do got a pinch hitter, Brody Collin, coming up to the plate for Sacred Heart Academy. He'll be hitting for Wyatt Brown. Collins steps in, batting from the right side. Definitely a threat to drop down a bunt. With third base and first base playing way back. Third base playing kind of right on the back. Collins digs in, takes the first pitch. It's going to be high, 1-0. Seiler on deck, Davis after him. If we do see the same order, could have some more pinch hitters coming in for Sacred Heart Academy. That one's going to miss high to Collins, 2-0. 9-1 the score. That one's going to miss low. 3-0 now the count to Collin. If you're Coach Hartman, Coach Peratt, it'd be a dream scenario to bring up a pinch hitter and have him look at 4 balls and be able to head down to first base. That one will be over for a strike. 3-1 now the count to Brody Collin. 9-1 is the score. We're in the top of the 7th inning. It's been all Irish all afternoon. They waited out the rain, and it was a good thing. That's going to be ball 4 to Brody Collin. And Nick Katzinger was up here along with Mike Verlager looking at some of the other stuff. Maple City, Glen Lake, Marion may have been rained out along with some of the other scenarios. So the fact that these two are getting this game in today could be a big, big deal going to Saturday as far as the number of arms that you're going to be able to throw. Sacred Heart Academy is going to have everybody available on Saturday now. If you are Portland St. Pat's or if you're Dansville, whoever wins that game, the fact that it's Thursday, Dansville's got a really good pitcher. If they come out, throw their number one, upset Portland St. Pat's, he's not going to be able to throw on Saturday. And same for Portland St. Pat's. You come out and you throw your number one. You already had your number two get beat up pretty good here by Sacred Heart. And so some interesting scenarios happening right now for the Sacred Heart Academy boys as they were able to get this game in today, whereas it looked like some other games in the MHSAA tournament have been rained out. Pinch runner at first base is going to be back over there in time. Seiler stepping in, batting from the right side. Nobody out here, top of the seventh inning. That one's going to plunk Seiler right in the back. That's the second time in a row he's been hit by a pitch. But if you're Merrill, you can't give up anything here. You already trail by 8 runs. You're down to your final 3 outs. You now have put the first 2 leadoff runners on, and that's going to bring Hank McDonald to the plate, hitting for Brady Davis. One thing I can tell you about Hank McDonald, if he gets a hold of one here, he's going to give that ball a ride. Runners at first and second. McDonald digs in. He's going to take the first pitch high for ball 1. So Meacham closing in on 80 pitches here for Merrill. Starting to look a little gassed out there. That one's going to miss inside. McDonald maybe ducking out of the way of that one a little bit. This one's going to be roped right to third base. What a play. Looking to double it up, having to come off the bag at second. They won't get there. But at third base, it was an absolute snag from Brendan Becker. Then he tried to get the double play. Not quite in time, but the line out to third base will get the out. Runners remain at first and second. And that was a hard shot there from McDonald, but just ended up being right at somebody. Now stepping up the plate is Nico Vasquez, who's going to be hitting in place for Luke Hacker. Really cool for all these youngsters. Be able to come in and get some experience here in a game like this with your team up big. That's going to be over for a strike for Meacham. We've got one out here in the top of the 7th inning. Sacred Heart Academy leads Merrill 9-1. Winner of this game plays for a regional championship Saturday, noon 30 at CMU's Tennyson Stadium. And you could have a pitching numbers advantage as Portland St. Pat's and Dansville got rained out till tomorrow. It's also going to allow a team to go scout as well. You'll be able to bring everybody down there to watch it. Vasquez is going to go down on strike 3 looking. That'll bring it back to the top of the order. And that's bad news for Merrill because no pinch hitter coming in for Mr. Grady Perrette, who is technically on the day 1 for 1 with 3 runs scored. And that's even the official game changer column. 1 for 1, 3 runs scored, also has a sacrifice RBI. Brett takes pitch 1. Nice curveball there from Meacham. It's going to stay low. 1-0. Brett digs back in. Runners at first and second. That one's going to get away from the catcher. That'll allow the runners to advance. Moving up to third is Seiler. Moving up to second. Moving up to third is Collin. Moving up to second is Seiler. Actually, leadoff runner got out, so we had to be McDonald and Seiler at second and third now, pardon me. Big cut that time for Perrette as he swings through that one. Grady Perrette swinging for the fence on that one. 2-1 now the count to the senior. 2 outs here. Top of the 7th inning. The Irish already lead at 9-1. Could get a couple insurance runs here if Perrette's able to put this one in play. Got timeout at the plate. Lefty Perrette steps out, throws right, bats left. Playing at Elma College next year for the Scots. They are going to be lucky to have him. Swing and a miss at that one. Count now 1-2. Or 2-2, pardon me. Meacham winds and deals. So it's going to be put in play towards second. They're going to get it in time for the out. So a nice job by Merrill not allowing another run to come across, but it might already be too little, too late. We are headed to the bottom of the 7th inning. Due up, it's Colin Buckley, Eli Evans, and Austin Artcliffe as they desperately try to get something going against Sacred Heart Academy. 9-1 is the score. We'll keep the broadcast right here. Thanks to more of our fantastic sponsors. Woods Household, Weefrich Financial, Clark Modular Homes, Bird All-America Grill, Bill's Custom Fab, at Gates Drilling and Service, along with Barberry Law. And you start to think about that Zaid Batchelder baller of the game, or Weber Brothers Sawmill timber of the game, the drive of the game brought to you, or the drill of the game, brought to you by Mumford Oil and Gas Supply and Gates Drilling and Service. We'll get to that in a moment. Another update. It is 12-0 Muskegon Catholic Central over Bear Lake. And I've said it the last few years with Beale City, and it's almost the same with Sacred Heart. If you're going to make a baseball run, you know MCC's they're just going to be there at some point. But the Zaid Batchelder baller of the game, what Brady Davis did, he struck out 8 of 9 batters the first time through the lineup. So he's got it kind of locked in stone for our Zaid Batchelder baller of the game, brought to you by our friends at Weefrich Financial. But the Gates Drilling and Service drill of the game, along with our friends at Mumford Oil and Gas Supply and our Weber Bros. Sawmill timber of the game, got a few guys in the running for that. But Jason Bogue had 3 RBI in the first 2 innings. RBI double in the first and a 2 RBI single in the second. He's in the running for that right now. Grady Perrett's been great, but he has 2 walks, a single on the day, and 3 runs scored. And so it's looking like Zaid Batchelder ball of the game going to Mr. Brady Davis. Our Weber Brothers Sawmill timber of the game, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply, Gates Drilling and Service driller of the game, will say Mr. Jason Bogue was 2 for 4 on the day with 1 extra base hit and 3 RBI. But Brady Davis, what a performance he had, striking out 8 of the 9 first batters, and I believe it was through 4. He ended up striking out 8, or through 3, I think it was, that he struck out 8. He was just unbelievable on the hill today, and with him not having to pitch the whole game, get some other guys in there with this lead, he will be available Saturday. Nate Seiler will be available Saturday. Jason Bogue will be available Saturday. Grady Perrett will be available Saturday. Depending how many we see Zion throw here in the 7th, he could be available Saturday as well. First pitch is going to be over to a strike for Zion as well. Facing Colin Buckley. Buckley's going to take the second one, 1-1 now the count. Eli Evans on deck. He's 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. Buckley at the plate is 1 for 2. That one will be over for a strike as well for Zion. 1-2 now the count. Zion got 1 strikeout in that last inning. This one will be fouled off. Evans on deck, Artcliffe, Meacham, and then it's back to the top of the order after that. Last 3 outs for Merrill's season. They were in the same spot last year, except they were beating Beale City late. The Aggies with a great comeback to win that one. I'll always joke the old Major League. You had the hitter beating out the play at first base. I'm going to say it was Latham or Gross that was rounding third and came around to score with a game-winning one, Willie Mays Hayes style. Now running the count full. So we've had a couple miss now from Zion. It's 3-2. And Buckley will take ball 4. If you are Merrill, again, it's going to take something special, but that's the way you needed the inning to start, was with a walk. Again, Muskegon Catholic Central up 12-0 on Bear Lake, and so Catholic Central looking like they will be at CMU Saturday on the other side of that quarterfinal bracket, I'll say, because it's just different than softball. As you got the semifinal game today, so Saturday you win a regional championship, but then you still got to play another game. But you win that quarterfinal, you're headed to East Lansing. That next one's going to miss. 1-1 now the count to Eli Evans. Runner at first base. Nobody out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Last opportunity here for Merrill. Swing and a miss that time. Great pitch there from Noah Zion. 1-2 now the count. Evans stepping back in. knows he cannot go down on strikes in this situation. Again, 9-1 the score. That sun shining, that scoreboard not as visible as it was a little bit earlier when we had all the clouds and whatnot, but turning into a beautiful day here at Earl Hartman Jr. Field. Here comes the pitch from Zion. He'll get the punch out. Strike 3 looking for Evans. Artcliffe up next. Down to their final 2 outs are the Merrill Vandals. The Irish lead at 9-1 here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Bird All-American Grill post-game show coming up after this one. Talk more about our Zaid Batchelder baller of the game, Weber Brothers Sawmill Timber of the game, and so much more. And again, we will not know who Sacred Heart is playing on Saturday, as Portland St. Pat's in Dansville has been postponed till tomorrow with a 5 o'clock start. Here comes the next pitch from Zion. That's over for a strike. He's now ahead 0-2. Junior steps back into the middle of the mound. That back foot on the rubber. Winds, deals. Strike 3. Better going down. Actually, that was LaJoyce going down on strikes. Pinch hitting for Artcliffe. 2 outs. Down to the final out. It's going to be Hayden Meacham at the plate for Merrill. 9-1. The Irish with the lead. Quick check of the runner over at first base, diving back in time. Is the runner, Strauch. Over there at first base, holding the runner on. Stepping back. Onto the bump is Mr. Zion. Here comes the pitch. He's not going to get the call there at 1-0. Number 9 hitter for Merrill up there, the final out, trying to turn the order back around to the top. That one's also going to miss 2-0 the count to Meacham. Zion winds and deals. That one's also going to miss high 3-0. Braden Buckley, the leadoff hitter who's on deck, started 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly out to left field. Singled his last time up. Here comes the 3-0. I imagine Meacham taking all the way here. And that'll be over for a strike for Zion. 3-1 now the count. 9-1 the score. Final at bat, or final out, I should say, for Merrill. Meacham's going to send this one to the outfield, trying to track in and make the catch. And it's made in center field. Or no, it will it? Yeah, it will be a catch to end the game from Duffy, a diving stop. Oh, man, if you're Meacham, that's a tough way to end the season right there. What a play. That'll do it. 9-1. Sacred Heart Academy victorious over the Merrill Vandals for the 3rd time this year. They'll play Saturday in the regional final at Central Michigan University in Tennyson Stadium. We'll be back right after this, the Bird All-American Grill postgame show, to put a bow on this one here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. 9-1, our final. Sacred Heart Academy besting Merrill for the 3rd time this year. Your Bird All-American Grill postgame show coming up right after this.
GNS Mechanical in Wademan offers service and installation on everything for your home and business. From a simple filter replacement to furnace, central air service, and install, geothermal, and walk-in coolers and freezers. If you have a need, GNS Mechanical has a solution. Learn more at gnsmechanical.com or call 989-644-2106.
Pure sportsmanship is the most important thing in high school sports. When it comes to your home or business, Pure Plumbing just might be the most important thing. If your plumbing isn't Pure, don't worry, no one needs to see the other angle. For Pure Plumbing, call 989-644-8928 or visit mipureplumbing.com. Mumford Oil and Gas Supply is your one-stop shop for top quality products and procurement in the Michigan oil and gas industry. With over 45 years of experience and a strong commitment to customer satisfaction, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply delivers the best solutions for your oil and gas production, drilling, and service needs. If you need it, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply can get it. Visit them on Fancher Day or give them a call at 989-317-8582.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back inside our Barberry Law Studios one more time here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. 9-1, the final. Sacred Heart Academy Irish over Merrill. Moving on to the regional final. They will play Saturday at 12:30 versus the winner of Portland St. Pat's in Dansville. We will not know that winner until tomorrow evening. Maybe your boy might even head down to Fulton and watch that one for a little bit. But kind of run through things we already talked about in that seventh inning. Zaid Batchelder, baller of the game, brought to you by our friends at Weefrich Financial, Mr. Brady Davis. When you look at my box score, my scoring sheet through the first 3 innings for Merrill, you see a whole lot of strikeouts. He struck out 8 of the 9 batters he faced the first time through the order in 3 innings. Brady Davis was absolutely electric. You add in the Irish were able to score 5 runs through those 3 innings. He just gave them a big lead, big advantage. And you add in Perrette starting off the game with a walk, coming around to score. Just made it a little bit easier for Davis. But when you mow down 8 of the first 9 batters you face, you're going to be the Zaid Batchelder baller of the game, brought to you by Weefrich Financial. So big shout out to Brady Davis, who also had a double, kind of a single, a run scored as well. He did pretty darn good at the play. I guess that was McDonald that came in and got the double, but or no, actually, pardon me. I'm not remembering here the old Spockman math, but the point of it is Brady Davis, the Zaid Batchelder baller of the game, brought to you by Weefrich Financial. Weber Brothers Sawmill Timber of the game, Gates Drilling and Service, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply Driller of the game, we're going to call it, Mr. Jason Bogue. RBI double in the first inning. Go to the second inning, a 2 RBI single, drove in 3 of the first 5 runs for the Irish. So congratulations, Brady Davis, Jason Bogue, our players of the game here today. The Irish moving on to the regional finals Saturday, 12:30 at Tennyson Stadium. Wherever Kyle Sandlin and Buck 92 are going to be with Beale City and Sacred Heart, I will be at the opposite place to spread out that coverage. And so if I'm not here, I'll let you know how you can listen to that game. Same goes for Beale City. If I'm not in Beale City, you're going to know how to find that Beale City game. 9-1, Sacred Heart Academy victorious over Merrill for a 3rd time this year to move on to the regional championship Saturday, 12:30 at CMU's Tennyson Stadium. If we're not there, we will be live at 12 in Vesterberg with a Beale City girls action. And so we've got everything covered for you here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. We'll also have updates coming from Claire and Shepherd as well, no matter where we are. So keep it locked right here. Mid-Michigan Sports Network Facebook page has got you covered for everything for high school baseball and softball. And then I'm uploading everything to that YouTube page, so it'll be there for forever. 9-1, Sacred Heart Academy victorious over Merrill. Moving on to the regional final Saturday, noon 30 at Tennyson Stadium. We may be there. If not, we'll be on the air a little bit before that with some Beale City Aggies softball. Chris Bachman signing off on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.